Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking. We stacking chips, all of this. What I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You could say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated. Bouquett produce, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a little weapon, cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 23rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. First off, happy birthday, Guillermo Zertucci. The best of us, man. Leading by example. What a great guy. We love him. We love his family. Happy birthday to you, G. And thank you for all that you do for us at Pub Sports Radio and the low bag community. Shout out to Guillermo Zertucci. Shout out to Gavin Henry. Anytime he pops in the chat, you guys know I talk very highly of him. An established thoroughbred trainer in Jamaica at the beautiful racetrack down in Jamaica. I dream of setting foot on that racetrack. Gavin Henry joined us yesterday. Said he's been focusing on quarter horses. He gave us the number 9 Thunderous in race 10 at Indy, and it won. And it paid $12.70 for every $2 you bet on it. Gavin Henry jumping in the chat and handing out a winner. Shout out to our guy, Gavin Henry. And we love you, man. We love you. Great, great job, Gavin Henry. So that is the positives. The negatives, Jose and I are not succeeding in MLB, and it's a problem. It is an enormous problem. It's a giant problem. Affecting everything that we do in life is what it's doing. And we need to deliver. Also, that 7-game winning streak in NBA going into the conference finals is now a 5-game losing streak. So the unders did not cash. The Operation Garcia would have gone 9-8, but for whatever reason, Nickeil Alexander-Walker wasn't available for me like an hour and 15 minutes before the game. I was waiting for it, and then I got caught up in some garbage, and then I didn't get it in. So I went 8-8 and should have gone 9-8. Of course, Nickeil Alexander-Walker can't hit a 3-pointer to save his life last 2 games, so he's not available. But we have a big show today. We have a big show today, and we got some information that you guys need to know. First off, our show today, we have Sharpie. He joined us on the first day of the season when it was baseball was playing over in Korea. He's 2-0 on our show. So he's coming for the Pittsburgh Pirates San Francisco Giants game. So we have Sharpie joining us for that. We have TJ joining us for best bets. His best bets are with the Rockies A's and the Jays Tigers. I'm very nervous about hearing his action in Jays Tigers, as I've made 3 bets on that game. And I had 4. I had another one locked up, but I pulled it. So I didn't bet, I pulled it. I just decided not to move it. There was just a tiny bit too much vig. So I pulled it back. So that's baseball. So we have Sharpie, TJ, Jose Bouquett, all in baseball. We have Mr. Gogster. Mr. Gogster went 2-1 with his picks last Thursday. Coming off a winning day, we want to stack those winning days and finish the year off strong. Fascinating game at MSG last night, and obviously bodes very well for our Florida Panthers futures, which have become enormously important due to other failures of mine. The 6K could take care of everything. So I'm very hopeful after that very impressive performance by Kachuk and the boys. Then we get into NBA, and we have Brizzy joining us. Mr. Billy Brisbane, who on our show has a 9.15% ROI. We haven't had him on enough. 19-14, 57.6%, plus 3.02 units, an average line of plus 102. That is from our guy, Brizzy. So that is it. Now it's time to get that cash. Oh, one other thing though. My mom is coming to Toronto. And I think that in life we can take things for granted. And it's not really anyone's fault. Just sort of, we just always expect the people we love to be right there, And so I've decided to take off Friday and Tuesday. I haven't taken any days off this year. I'm going to take those 2 days off. I really want just some time with her. I just think that life's too short, and we need to celebrate the ones that we love, and hug them and love them. So that's what I'm doing now. And I don't usually. She comes to town, I still work my ass off. But no, I'm gonna pick her up at airport tonight, and I'm gonna take some time with Mama Bag. Speaking of Mama Bag, her and TJ are battling atop the playoff pool ledger. Let's take a look at that, Jose, because you also had an okay night here, and you are coming for me. There's an interesting thing that I found as I always go over all of the players. TJ at 256. I'm not sure if that is updated because Verhaeghe. No, that must not. Oh, because maybe my mom had Verhaeghe too. Go hit my mom's team. Because maybe did she have Verhaeghe too? Okay, that's no. So it has been updated. So they just both have Verhaeghe. So they are battling atop the leaderboard. Now there's an interesting capper in this, whom I don't know. A mystery capper. Diseases. Can you hit Diseases? Diseases has all 20 players still going. Diseases. Sticking around like herpes, sticking around like fully blown AIDS is what he's doing. Diseases sitting in 7th. Now, Diseases is 228 points. Is sitting there, 28 points back of TJ, 25 back of my mom. But Diseases has all of his players left available. And Andrew G says, do you, Jim? We stop with Jose. No, it's going to be a great show on Friday because we'll have Bobano opening up his MLB card as well. But now, Jose, did you you gained ground on me, right? You are now 8 points back of me. And if Jose beats me, I pay for his entry into our big football pools. We have the Cappers contest, of course. Loshak year 1 winner. Last year we had Guillermo Zertucci and Sharpie tie atop the leaderboard. And I would enter him in our survivor pool. In that survivor pool, I was the winner. It was very, very important. Very important. Picked up 3.6K American. That's all being used very much. Now, we also have yesterday's winner, a new section here for us. On Pub Sports Radio, yesterday's winner. But right now here we have the Billy Brisbane is our top capper over the last 30 days. It sucks. I was once here when this started going, and I was so excited about this whole thing because it made me look so good. Slatsy coming off plus 1.65 units. Jay Smooth plus 1.16 units. Locker Room Podcast plus 1.1 units. Ron Crawford plus 0.75 units. All right here for bet tracking purposes. And it shows the struggles that Jose and I have been having, which sucks. But it also shows the success of our cappers as well. And past 30 days, Billy Brisbane, our number 1 capper here at Pub Sports Radio. Great stuff. And a big shout out to our guy, Sean Swiggy, who's doing all of this for us. All right. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Justin McKelvey, what a guy. Boots on the ground for Skeens today. And we're going to be talking about that game. Don't worry. We got lots of time to talk afternoon baseball. We got a fully loaded account. We're going to move live. I did get the under 223.5 live in the basketball game at halftime, which got me back a unit. But it was frustrating. The total was 222.5. I imagine that everybody was hammering the over, which is astonishing to me that anyone would take a live bet worse than what was available pregame. But maybe they're just judging the pace of play and Kyrie Irving sprinting all over the floor, which also is tiring out Ant Edwards. So it's, I don't know if it's necessarily that positive for the over. But then it moved to 223.5. I moved on it with the under at minus 130. And of course, it just kept getting pummeled. I should have waited to the last very second because if I had waited, I could have got that at plus 100. But it did get me back a unit. Live play has been very helpful here. But here we go. Justin McKelvey, boots on the ground for the Skeens game. And we have Sharpie joining us to talk about that spot as well. So let's pop this here. Stats play of the day is in. Let's get that here. There we go. Copied and pasted. Stacks play of the day. Shout out to Justin McKelvey. And it's Pirates team total over 4.5 at plus 104. Morgan Spooner, Rangers, Phillies over 8, and Tigers, Jays over 7.5. Leaving Pirates team total under 4.5 is a strong lean. And the Skeens effect will amp up opposing pitchers and bring less camaraderie to the Bucks offense. That's that's a really interesting take, Morgan. I can't wait to talk about that game because I took a long look at Mason Black. I've got to. I feel like I should only move on my most confident spots right now because I'm running poorly. Spreadsheet dog play of the day: 6-3 plus 6.18 units is the Texas Rangers at plus 175, which is interesting. Interesting because Joe Yurkovich yesterday, and I thought he was right. I thought he was absolutely right. He said, "Look, I'm going to hammer the Phillies minus 1.5 right now. We know what they do against lefties. You got a bum on the mound and Heaney. I think this line will move in the Phillies' direction, and it hasn't." Which is shocking. And I've been watching it very closely. Michael Lester in the house. And we have LJ from H-Town. Best bet first half over 115.5. I get it. I've been watching that total very closely. I feel like I just need to, starting off the conference finals 0-5 after having a 7-game winning streak is very bothersome. And I feel like I should just stay off. But I've only heard people on the Pacers. I've only heard people on the over. Obviously, that interests me very much to be on the opposite side of all that, but I don't know if I can do it. Cora Wiley says we got early baseball today again. Let's find some winners. Speaking of winners, $100 up for grabs at the end of the show today. $100 to one Pub Sports Radio Gold member. And I'd like heats today, Jose. Let's have some fun with it. Let's have some heats. Michael Lester, Joey Harb, Guillermo Zertucci. There he is on his birthday. Give this man the love that he deserves from our community. What a great guy, great friend, leading by example. I love his family. So please, let's give Zertucci some love. Happy birthday, my man. I love that you rock with us, man. Morgan Spooner says, looking at base rates we have for baseball over the years, teams are going to win 55 between 55 and 110 games. Regression doesn't mean will happen for hot and cold teams. Well, we just saw the Orioles get swept for the first time in the Adley-Rutschman era. They'd never been swept before. This was the longest non-sweep streak since, I think it's the Tribe between 1942 and 1944. But that's just from what I might be wrong with that. My dude had a great day yesterday, 7-2. I love to hear it. There's Jay Peasy in the house. So something going wrong with the account for Jay Peasy. So we give him the wrench, which he deserves. Now he's back in business. Abdebet ready to go. Steve G in the house. Great to see you, Steve. Can't wait to talk hockey with Gogster and with all of our NHL cappers. Dave McKenna says Padres 7-4 last 11 off a win, scoring 7 or more runs. And my dude says only Nationals could have scored yesterday. Yeah, it was upsetting. The smooth balls play today is Skeens over 7.5 Ks at minus 104. Let's get that copied and pasted. A lot of interest in this baseball game. We also have WNBA action. Speaking of WNBA action, Jose, how did your Seattle Storm do last night? I didn't keep abreast of the WNBA action. How did you do?
Casher, of course, obviously 2-1, respected.
Okay, all right, okay. By whom? Respected by whom?
Myself, I need you to respect it too. It's a winning capper. It's 2-1, up 9/10 of a unit. Come on.
No, I respect that. JPZ PSR Gold member. He's got an opportunity for a hundo today. Brian Watson, Gerald Jones, Kelly McInnes, Mikey Money, Bo Jackson, Abdebet Dallas Stars money line. So Abdebet and I are going heads up in this one. I can't wait to talk about that one. Foxy in the house. Great to see you. Bo Jackson says, how about them Mavs and Blue Jays? Juan Chavez ready to get to work. I love it. Slats says 1-3 in NHL last night, but love the Panthers winning game 1. Race to 4 goals, neither plus 125 tonight in the Oilers Stars game. Well, that's an interesting take, Slatsy, my man. Slatsy, my man. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day is the Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 107. So remember that was picked up by Joe Yurkovich at minus 102 yesterday, and it made a ton of sense. Now it's at plus 107. So, must talk about. And you're going up against the spreadsheet play of the day. in these Texas Rangers. So Billy Friedrich, the pig has spoken. The pig milk has spoken. AOD in the house, ready to get to work. Streamline Gaming, ready to go. Ken Mizrahi, ready to eat. O'Brien Palmer, upgraded membership to PSR Gold. O'Brien Palmer now could win $100 here. Great to see all of you guys. Doug says the Wolves shit the bed. They did. Al Cervic, thank you for the kind words. Kong Clips says, can we get some prayers for a close friend's family? Had a really good friend of mine, OD, and passed away this weekend. Life is short, brother. Yes. I'm so sorry that your friend's family had to go through that. So right now, we send some love and some light and compassion to Kong's Clips friend's family. I'm so sorry that they had to go through that. It's obviously a pandemic in North America right now. So hate to hear that. And if we talk about who's really stepping up in that regard, Emmett Smith. Guys, Emmett Smith is backing all of trying to get the proper equipment for families so that they can and I don't know what exactly that equipment is, but so if there is overdoses happening, that you can save them. Emmett Smith being a big supporter of that and important stuff. Sorry that you and your friend's family have to go through that, man. Very, very sorry. Very sorry. So AOD says Wolves tired here. We're ready to get to work. Al Surrey says a lot of pressure on young squad coming off the biggest home game in franchise history. Yeah, I mean, look, BJ best bet, Dutch Boy Fresh best bet. I mean, they were on Denver, and that was just a very streaky basketball game. It was a lot of fun. Oh no, Remos firing shots at Gogster. Gogster coming off winning day. He's going to be firing his own shots here. Cody Norton, Remos, all you guys. My dude says Ron Crawford making money on those Red Sox. Nasty Nate in the house says Celtics smash. There's the first person talking Celtics here. There's the first guy talking Celtics. C. James ready to go. Darius Moore. Von Polo says Philadelphia was my only play last night. Al Cervic says 63 days until the Hall of Fame game. We are not far away from NFL football. Brandon ready to go says he has the Cubs today over the Diamondbacks. 70% of the money on the Diamondbacks. Rick J. Nobody on New York. First 5 under 4. I was surprised to watch that total head to over. Went from 7.5 to 8. I certainly was looking at it. Rick J. It surprised me. Aubrey Travis saying Celtics game 2. I wonder if I have the balls to follow that. Billy Friedrich says the White Sox are not winning 55 games, and now they have the Orioles coming to town who've just been swept. Isaiah Scurry ready to get to work. Dave McKenna. Wet Napkin says Wheeler's going to shove. Phillies bullpen going to lose this game for them. Rangers money line says Wet Napkin. So that would be a probably better off live bet at that point. Then Jeffrey Moore says I'm still surprised Pirates first 5 under 0-0 in the fourth and Pirates get 5. Yeah, that was extremely frustrating. I can tell you exactly where I was when that broke down. I was at the IKEA and I didn't shop. I could not shop because I had action going on. So I went into the cafeteria with that trash Swedish food, no salt, no goddamn taste. Fish and chips, the worst fish and chips I ever had in my life. I'm not going to order fish and chips again for 2 years, I think, because they're fucking IKEA fish and chips are so shit. And I'm sitting there with this garbage food, and I watch them buckle, and then I can't think I'm gonna eat this shit food. Okay. I was very upset. All right. And my dude says, how are we not on the Pacers today? I can tell you how we're not on the Pacers today because the whole world's on them. And I'd rather just not ride with everybody in the world. That's all. I'd rather just watch everybody in the world win and have great lives. That's what I'd prefer to do. F. Donahue, we've missed you. Great to see you. Great to see all of you guys. So Arcadia G. I like the nickname for Guillermo, Arcadia G. Okay, it's time to get to work. Nasty Nate. Okay, it's great to see all you guys. Dabby Cab in the house. Great to see all of you guys. So let's get to work here. Yeah, fish and chips, I guess, absolute trash. Sabino and Guano in the house. OKK says Boston Smack Spot. So we're starting to get the Celtic backers joining us. Mark Schillingberg in the house. Great to see you. Barry Smith, great to see you. Great to see all of you guys. Marcus McCarthy. Let's get to work. Doug in the house. Great to see Rodney Barton ready to get to work. So let's do exactly that because we only have at this point 55 minutes before. Oh, no, this first MLB game at 12:35. Okay, sorry. No, we have an hour and 15 minutes. All right, it's time to talk NHL hockey. We have 2 games on the schedule. One today, and then we're going to talk game 2, Florida, New York Rangers. Please welcome from Bell Vegas, Ontario. It's hard for me to say that. I mean, there's nothing except fentanyl that ties Belleville and Vegas together. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the telecast. Gogster, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, Jimmy. How are you today?
You look very serious, Mr. Gogster.
All business, man. All business.
I like it. I like it. Sounds like you got a call on your landline that said, take this shit seriously.
I did.
Let's get right to work. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the West Final Game 1. Edmonton Oilers, 49-27-6, 21-18-2 on the road in the regular season. At the Dallas Stars, who were 26-11-4 at home in the regular season. I said, heavy, that I would risk my high-paying job as coach of the Edmonton Oilers by putting Skinner back in net. And I took a lot of shit, took a lot of flack for it. You have to see what you have. That's part of being a coach. You have to trust your roster that the general manager put together, and you have to see what you have. It was no cut on Pickard. And honestly, I know everybody's saying Stuart Skinner's the weak spot here. It would not surprise me if Skinner has a good series here. And everybody on the Stars has surprised me. We have had some Oilers backers join us on the YouTube chat, on our YouTube video that's out right now from me breaking down this game yesterday. Look, I am on the Edmonton Oilers first period and full game. I'm not going to give you guys, that's plus 105 and plus 113. I'm not going to give you guys the whole breakdown here. Chris Salzer, may God bless you. May God bless you. And also, go away, leave, bounce, never come back to our channel again. Here, Gogster, I've already broken down this game, so I'm not going to hit it again. But for me, the quotes, DeBoer, thankful for the rest. Matt Duchene, of course, thankful for the rest because he has a work ethic of nothing. And, I just don't think that it's helpful. The rest, I think that the Oilers are sharp right now, and they're going to show that. I also think there's a problem with Heiskanen being your everything because the Oilers can play dirty. They're going to run Heiskanen at every single opportunity, and Heiskanen is not as big as Bouchard. He is not able to withstand that. The Oilers defense is bigger than the Stars defense, and I think the Oilers are very live in this series. Will I back the Stars in game 2 if the Oilers win in game 1? Probably at this point. So I've already broken this all down and everyone has heard it. So I'm not going to drop it again, but I am on the Edmonton Oilers first period and full game this evening. Let's take one more look at the line history here and see what's changed. The line has moved towards Dallas. So now, it's come back a little. Now it's plus 114. I got plus 113. This did get up to plus 118 yesterday afternoon. Again, plus 118 this morning. Right now, it's at plus 114. So it's a 4 cents of movement away from the Oilers, 2 cents towards Dallas, from minus 124 to minus 126. And from a total scenario here, we've been staring at a 6, staring at the 6, and that's it was a pick 'em. Right now, you can get the over 6 at minus 107, which is exactly where the line opened up. If this was a regular Oilers game, it'd be a 6.5. If this was a regular Stars game, it would be a 5.5. So, of course, they met in the middle. And let's touch on the cash flow here because it is such a big hockey game. Let's touch on the cash flow. And I can't touch on the cash flow. They are not giving us any information. Wild. They are telling us the information on the total. How about that? 87% of tickets, 85% of cash on the over. They're not giving us money line information. Mr. Gogster, here we go. Huge game at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Take it away.
All righty, guys, let's do it. Game 1. I'll get into the goalies here. Skinner and Ottinger. Advantage Skinner 5-on-5. But the only thing here, guys, keep note of is Ottinger. If they're going to be on the penalty kill here, Ottinger's been very, very bad. 652 save percentage goals saved above, or that's his save percentage, 652. So 65% of the time he's stopping the puck on the penalty kill. Minus 2.5 goals saved above expected. So that's the only issue. They're going to want to stay out of the box, I think, this series. That's where they're going to get into trouble, I think, guys. So as long as they stay out of the box, I do think Dallas is going to win this series. Some stats for the penalty kills, special teams here, guys. 4-2 on the road for Edmonton, 36% power play, and then a 94% penalty kill. That's on the road, guys. And then, like I said, this Dallas team, 53% penalty kill at home, and then a 33% power play. So both these power plays have been solid. It's just the penalty kill. It's got to be a lot better if they want to win this series, or at least just stay out of the box. That's going to be big here, guys. Then Hintz, I still believe Hintz is day-to-day, Jim. Hockenpah as well. And then Henrique is also day-to-day for the Edmonton Oilers.
But Hockenpah, of course, has been out for months, and they miss him badly, you know. Because let me tell you, how do you feel about Chris Tanev and Ryan Suter playing the minutes that they're playing?
I have Tanev playing quite a bit. Suter is like the fifth kind of defenseman, but that's the advantage where Edmonton have here, guys. They have 3 lines on defense that they can even score. Their expected goals 4, especially that Ekholm and Bouchard, very strong. So offensively, I give the 4 lines to Dallas here, guys. I think Edmonton just kind of have 2 lines that are going to score. That's Hyman, Draisaitl, McDavid, then Kane, McLeod, and Perry. Edmonton have, like I said, they have 3 lines of D where Dallas really rely on the 2. In this game, though, guys, I think it's going to be a really fast-paced game, complete opposite of that Florida-New York Ranger game where it was very tight. Wasn't a lot of room on the ice. Florida's just downhill. Not going to let you move really with the puck. Where this is just 2 teams that are going to be really moving quick. They like to move the puck to defense. The 3 defensemen 6 for Edmonton. I would take away Kulak and Deschards actually, but Susie, Nurse, Ekholm, Bouchard, all those guys know how to move the puck really quickly. And then also obviously Heiskanen, Harley's coming into his own, Lindell, Tanev. I think there's going to be a lot of offense here, guys. The only issue, though, is last start was Friday the 17th for Dallas. So they've been on the shelf for a little bit, where Oilers went Game 7 Monday the 20th. So they're coming off 2 days where the Stars are coming off at least 6. So a little in my bets here, guys, I'm going with the overs. My only worry would be a slow start from Dallas here. So I do kind of like your Edmonton first period play there, Jim. I think there's going to be enough goals, though. I'm not going to that's where I'm going to cash the ticket here, guys. Short and sweet, as I like to say. Over 1.5 in the first period. So 2 goals in the first. Both teams to score 2 goals as well. And then the full game to go over 5.5. Tie those together. It's the same game parlay at plus 165. Don't know who's going to win this game. I'm a little worried about the rest for Dallas here. And then we've seen it before, guys. These teams that go 7 games, the first game, they really come out strong. So I'd be worried a little bit if I was Dallas just in the first period, but I think they got those 4 lines that are going to give Edmonton a little bit of trouble on the back end there. So all in all, we'll have to watch more of the series, but I do think Dallas should get this one done, and the goalie, just as long as they stay out of the box there, which is not going to be easy against Edmonton. Dallas, I think, should win this series.
Going to be fun. First period over 1.5. Both teams to score 2 goals in the game. Over 5.5. That's the SGP for Gogster at plus 165. Slow Jams Arsenal says the only thing worries me, Dallas has more rest, maybe fresher. That's the main reason I'm on the Oilers, because it just doesn't work like that in NHL. You want to stay sharp. You want to stay into it. So I love it, Gogster. Gogster expecting goals. I don't know if we are going to see them. Dallas does match up with the size of Draisaitl pretty well with Ben and others. Again, Rupee Hintz being out, I think, is an enormous loss, upper body injury. So when you read that he's skating, don't put too much into that. Wait until he takes any contact. I got first period and full game on the Oilers. Gogster has his SGP. Let's talk about tomorrow night's action here before we get into Major League Baseball. An hour and 5 minutes before first pitch right now. East Final Game 2, Florida Panthers at New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden in New York. I talked to you guys about what happens when Russian goaltenders face each other. And not just any Russian goaltenders. When you face a Vasilevsky or Shesterkin, they're the most storied Russian goaltenders I mean, Tretiak obviously is the most storied, but we're talking about National Hockey League here. Bobrovsky, Shesterkin faced each other, and both were excellent. And Bobrovsky got his second shutout in 82 starts in the playoffs, 76 starts, 82 games, but second shutout in 76 starts. The Florida Panthers are zero jokes. Now, I can't stop thinking about backing the Rangers here. I stayed away from them in game one. And I do have some concerns. And I went over all the red flags for the Rangers 5-on-5. I went over all those red flags, and they came to fruition in that hockey game. There was a lot of the game where the Rangers were not putting any pressure on Bobrovsky or the Florida Panthers. Let's talk about the line history here and then decide the move. And I haven't made it yet, but I'm very, very interested in the New York Rangers. Now, we talked about the trends in the series, and Slatsy talked about the trends all leading towards the over. The under is getting hammered here. It opened up with the over 5.5 at plus 104, just begging anyone to bet the over. Since then, it's moved further towards the under. Now, it hit its limit last night, 11:08 p.m., when the under 5.5 was minus 128 and the over was plus 112. So that's a big, big, big move on there. And then on the money line, the Panthers are the favorite again. The Rangers opened up minus 101. That's where they are. The early money last night after the hockey game came in on the Rangers. The Rangers moved up to minus 108. That's where we stand right now. Ken Mizrahi says, like your Rangers played, you can't go down 0-2 at home. You can't. But I also think that the Rangers, well, the Rangers were such a good home team this year. They were just good everywhere. 55, 23, and 4. You don't win the President's Trophy without winning everywhere, and that's what they did. And Steve G saying Shesty was pretty good too. It was great goaltending. So Bobrovsky, 23 saves for the shutout. Kachuk, a goal and an assist. Kachuk's an absolute monster. Verhaeghe and Bennett also scored. We saw Trouba doing what he's done all season long, playing really strong hockey, and he hit Reinhart hard. Reinhart has a shoulder issue now. We don't know the extent of it. But Kachuk in the playoffs, it's been spectacular. I don't know how. I understand why I picked Reinhart, but it was a terrible decision in the pool. I only picked one Panther because I was afraid of the Lightning. 57 goals for Reinhart, all leading the league in power play goals. You got to take your toughest, best player in a playoff type situation if you're only picking one. And Ron Crawford says road favorite in this year's playoffs, 20-8. 20-8. So Shesterkin, 24 saves, as Steve G said, he's played well. But here we go. The Rangers are scuffling. They've now lost 3 of 4 games. If you go on a losing streak in the playoffs, you go golfing. And that's the only reason. And then here, look, Panthers won 4 straight on the road. They're 5-1 on the road this year. This was the first time the Rangers were shut out on the power play, 0-for-2 on the power play. Florida's won 7 straight games in the conference final. When I'm going over these stats, it's very difficult to press the button on the Rangers. But I think that I will. I just need to hear you guys and hear everybody break this one down. So take it away, Gogster. The floor is yours. Let's take a look quickly at the cash flow for this Rangers spot and see if they've given us any information. And they have. They've given us all the information. So at this point, there's only 1,297 tickets in. 48% of tickets, 49% of cash on the Panthers. 66% of tickets and 69% of cash on the over 5.5. I guess the under is appealing. It is appealing, but the first game going so comfortably to the under has made me hesitant with that one as well. I expect the Rangers to be on my card. Take it away here, Gogster, Panthers, Rangers.
Yeah, in this series, complete opposite of the first game, guys. I think this is more the lower scoring tight. It's just this Florida team. I have your big, strong downhill team, Jimmy. We'll give any of these 3 teams trouble. I think this is the Stanley Cup winner, to be honest. I know that was just one game, but if you look at what they did last year, they were on one leg, literally. Kachuk, they pushing him out there for the last series against Vegas. But this team is, I think they're ready to make they already have made a deep run, but I think they have enough to lift the trophy here. Bobrovsky's just been standing on his head, standing on business. Bobrovsky there, and it's just Shesterkin. He's doing the same thing. That second goal he was going to poke check that pass there with 3 minutes left in the third, and then Lafreniere just, for whatever reason, threw his stick in there. He was just trying to stop the pass across the ice there, but Shesterkin had his stick down ready to tip that out, and that's why it went 5-hole on him. But if you look at expected goals in that game, guys, it was advantaged Rangers slightly. It was just Bobrovsky played so damn well, in my opinion. The only thing is, someone in the chat there said, they're pushing Panarin around. this team just doesn't give you any ice to move. That like they don't allow you to do what you want to do. Like you're not going to get set up. And one thing I noticed the Rangers trying to do a lot, guys, is they were trying to get a lot of set pieces, and that doesn't work in the playoffs. Like that's the Leafs were trying to do that to start too. Like you can't get those set pieces like you want, especially against a team like Florida, who are just so good positionally too on the ice. I'm not going to be on any side here. I'm going to take the no goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds, guys, minus 110. Just think this series, you're not going to see many 6-goal games here. Race to 4. If it's under -1, it's probably not. It's going to be way higher because it's 5.5. But there's just not going to be a lot of goals in this series, guys. You could even possibly be taking some overtimes because I think there's going to be a lot of 1-goal games as well. No goal in the first 9 minutes, 30 seconds. And I also want to take Bobrovsky's saves. I can't find a number right now just because it's tomorrow's game. But I'm expecting around 20, 23, 24 and a half saves for Bobrovsky. If it's around that number, 23, 24, 25 is pushing it, I would take the over on Bobrovsky's saves. I do think they're gonna make some changes after game 1, the Rangers, and throw a lot more pucks on net, just like they were doing. I think eventually they'll get a couple past Bobrovsky, but 7 games, it's not going to. They're just going to beat. Florida's just going to beat this team down, I think. Now that was just 1 game, but Florida they seem like a Stanley Cup winning team, if you ask me, guys. So no side here. Going to have to see how the Rangers respond the first period, but I don't think there's going to be a goal in the first 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 30 seconds.
No, I like it. I like it. And, I was sitting there staring at overtime, betting it. So I could.
Hey, nasty.
I think I expect to end up on the Rangers and bet them. And I like overtime. And thus far in the playoffs, I'm at 0-3 in overtimes. My first overtime bets of the year, 0-3, and one I came, 25 seconds away from. But it's all good. It's the way it works. But I do like overtime in this series, and I like that I didn't bet it in game 1 and it didn't get there. I do like overtimes in the series, so I could see myself. And also another thing I've decided to do is not put the full unit on overtimes, even though for record keeping purposes there'll be a full unit. But betting wise, I've decided not to. I'm a little more comfortable. Like if I have the Rangers and overtime, and the Rangers win and doesn't go to overtime, I want to get some profit out of that. That's basically what it comes down to. So Jeffrey Moore looking at Bobrovsky, 26 or more saves at plus 100. There's chosen one in the house. So we're going to get into MLB right now. But in conclusion, Gogster with a no goal first 9.5. And I think Rangers and overtime. And I don't know if I get to overtime, but I think I can confirm.
And
I think the risk reward is right for the Rangers. Now we'll move on it. What's that, Gogster?
Yeah, sorry, Jim. Another thing too is if you're taking overtime, I heard someone say this too. You want to almost take it live, because if you get a team say down 1-0, they come back, you're going to get a better number than whatever 260. So if you want to wait live and take it, or just wait till live and then take that overtime, you'll probably get a better number on it. So just something to keep in mind there.
I've been looking for that, and I haven't found that with a 1-goal event. I found it less. The numbers being less. Now I've been watching the live number to decide if that is something I should do. I found that it goes down a little bit if it's 1 goal. Now, if it's a 2-goal difference, then you're right. It does go.
How much less is it, Jim? Do you know, like cents wise?
Yeah, like 30, 40 cents. But I'll start tracking it so I can tell, give it here. And Ken Mizrahi. So that will be our breakdown for Panthers, Rangers. Ken Mizrahi says you guys been dabbling in the IHF a little bit.
I got an IHF.
I know you have a look in the because it's quarterfinals are on right now. Quarterfinals are live as we speak, and America has a huge game against Czech at Prague Arena, where the line's been moving towards the Americans. I've got the Americans to win this whole thing. They haven't won it since 33. They've only won it once. Take it away. I believe it was 1933 when they won it. Gogster, what is your look for the IIHF?
Take Sweden. Sweden on the puck line, guys, just a much better team. This Finnish team doesn't have a lot of their players. Goaltending-wise, too, is pretty weak. Puck line, the total's 4.5 in this game. It's going to be a lower scoring game. Finland's not going to get more than 2 goals in this game. So I'll see a 3-1, 4-2 kind of game. I expect Sweden to get her done there. And then that game today, guys, you want to watch some good puck? 2:20 there Eastern time, that USA, Czechia game.
Yeah.
And then that's also the home team too, right? So
yeah,
this is they also added some players too, some guys on Boston you might know. Past is going to be there. So some good hockey today, guys. Canada's up 3-1 against Slovakia. Binnington, if we had a better goalie, we'd be a real force for the years to come. But we got Binnington in net right now, and it could be a lot more. Our defense is playing pretty good right now. But anyways, guys, short and sweet. Take Sweden today at 2:20 against Finland on the puck line.
And that makes me nervous because these two teams despise each other, and when in a rivalry game like Sweden-Finland, there shouldn't be a big favorite. They despise each other. Finland always steps up and plays Sweden hard. Sweden's gone through undefeated. I went through all of their games to see how nervous I should be if America beats Czech and plays Sweden in the semis. And, Sweden will be a favorite. But there's no hedging. I only got 3-1 on America anyways. Great stuff, Mr. Gogster. Let's do a quick review of Gogster's action. He's on first period over. He's on an SGP for Edmonton Dallas tonight. First period over 1.5. Both teams to score at least 2 goals and the over 5.5. He got that SGP at plus 165. He's on tomorrow night. No goal first 9.5. Florida, New York Rangers. And he's on Sweden puck line at minus 120 in Finland, Sweden. Gogster, excellent work. Please follow and support Gogster on X at Gogster99. Gogster, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show, my friend?
As always, guys, get that cash, as you say, Jim. We'll see you next Thursday for some more hockey. And, just enjoy the weekend, guys. Cash those tickets, and we'll see you soon.
Be well, my friend. Viper says he's been to both countries. He sees no hate amongst each other. No, on the ice. They hate each other on the ice, without a doubt. And Lee Davis talking about the Rangers series price. I looked at it at plus 250. I don't need to do anything, though. As I said, I've got the Oilers to win the cup from the beginning of the year, and then I moved on the Panthers. I was a little late. I got 5-1 conference, 10-1 cup. And there's just no need to hedge. I'm fine. I'm done with that. I just need that worst case scenario gone. And the worst case scenario is a Dallas Rangers Stanley Cup. So I parlayed them. But I looked at if there was any interest in the Rangers, and at this point I don't. But I do. I expect to bet them game 2, and I'm not sure if I move on overtime at this point. Expect to move on them game 2. All right, it's time to talk Major League Baseball. 11:42 a.m. Eastern time right now, and our first game is at 12:35 p.m. Eastern. Jose and I coming off another difficult day. I was sitting there yesterday going, oh, I'm going to climb all the way out of this because the Detroit game went against me. And that bothered me so much. I put it on a tee saying that they're going to say to Ragans, look, you show everybody that you're the best lefty in the league, not Tariq Skubal. And I still only had the first 3 under 2, which pushed, and the first 5 under 3.5, which lost. And just didn't bet it right, even though I had the angle. And that was what's so frustrating. Then I was shocked at the... when I was watching the Pirates-Giants game, I thought everything was in complete control at 0-0 in the 5th inning, and I've got the under 4.5. So watching that fall apart was tough. Cy Young winner of last year looked spectacular in his start back off the IL, and then he falls apart in the 5th inning. Even when the bases were loaded and it was 1-0, I was like, oh, we can get out of this. Oh, no, we can't. So it's another frustrating day for Jose and I, and our whole summer is on the line. Our whole summer. I mean, this is all like, you can't. There's no sport that will give you sleepless nights more than baseball and the weight of the analytics. So it's a must-win day today. We have Sharpie making a second appearance on the show. He went 2-0 in the Korea games, and we have TJ rocking with us as well. And our cappers are doing well. Peter Loshak healthy in the black. Dabby Cab swept the board yesterday to get into the black. So we've got to follow suit. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the best bar in Texas, the Southtown 101 and Pop Sports Radio. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the telecast. Jose, how are you?
Yeah, I was nonplussed, especially because of those fucking early games yesterday, Jim. That was disgusting. The Mets falling apart was just par for the course this year. I think I just can't bet the Mets. They just fucking every time I bet on them, someone else on that bullpen blows a lead for me. It's ridiculous.
And they have a good bullpen, so it's
just shocking. And it was Addison Reed or whatever his name is, the guy with the most disgusting split in the league this year, just blowing it. And yeah, Blake Snell, I definitely thought, oh yeah, this is classic Blake Snell. He's gonna load the bases and strike 2 people out. We'll get out of it. And then they threw out Sean Jelly, and then I knew we were fucked at that point. So that was great.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked, but I'm trying to
see. I know shit's fucked up when the cash cows are losing outright. Like this is like the 3rd time in the last like 3 days or whatever it's been. Cash cows have lost outright. It's ridiculous. Like all this shit's being just shaken up in a fucking snow globe, and it's fucked.
Yeah, it's that 2 years ago when I had like a really strong year cabbing with everybody, I was down 20 units. I finished the year up 20 units. So I've done this before. I need to remember that. I just need to remember that and not be too heavy here.
Yeah, I have to as well. And I did the same thing last year. And then old Mikey Moolah cursed me with the name we can't say anymore.
Yeah,
and then
we don't say it.
And then from then on, it's history. But yeah,
that nickname has nothing to do with his tits, by the way, if you're wondering. But we won't mention the nickname. So Troy Torrance has dropped his action. Let's get to work here. A lot of opportunity and a lot of potential and very, very interesting market moves. We've had my dude jump in the chat who's coming off 2 days, doesn't thinks that for studying the market moves are hurting us and all that. And the great thing about this is you have complete autonomy with how you want to attack baseball. You just need to succeed, and I've not been doing that. So let's get to work here. We start at 12:35 p.m. Jose, Seattle Mariners 27-23, 12-13 on the road. The New York Yankees 34-17, 17-8 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We have Castillo versus Luis Gil, and Gil's coming off a spectacular performance. We have an early game in the Bronx, 73 Fahrenheit, 8.3 miles per hour out to right field. It's very slightly out. Dies down to 6.5 during the game. Let me just refresh this as well. Actually, maybe this has been up for a long time. So no 8. Oh, wow. The weather has changed. Of course, the wind has changed. You can't. So now it's 8.2 miles per hour left to right. And then within an hour, it's in. It's blowing in. 7.8 miles per hour. It dies down to 6.8, but it's blowing in. That's interesting. That was a good refresh. All right, let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Set the table for Jose Bouquett. We have Sharpie on deck here for the Pirates game, a game that Justin McKelvey will have boots on the ground. And then we have TJ with back-to-back action. So here we have the Yankees at minus 148. They open up at minus 133, 15-cent move towards Luis Gil and these New York Yankees. On the total here, we have a 8 at Pinnacle. Now, this opened up at 8. I think that's important to know. At 6:54 p.m., this was 8 at a pick'em. But let's go over to Bet Online here as for their opener, because they opened it up at 7.5 minus 120 to the over. At Bet Online, this opened up at 7.5, and there's been a 5-cent move to the under, which is quite a different story than really what we're getting from Pinnacle. It's interesting to see these two, powerhouse books sort of on different pages here. So this opened up at 8, and then it moved to 8.5 at 4:19 a.m. with Gil and Castillo on the mound. Gil coming off the 14 strikeout game, and Castillo coming off multiple nice starts and against good teams. He just, 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Orioles. So then this is 8. Then this moves down to 7.5 at 11:30 this morning, 18 minutes ago. And how long does it last there? Just 11 minutes before it comes back to 8. So there are 7.5s all over the board right now. And the 8, there's a bookmaker 8 at minus 122. But I mean, basically, Pinnacle is saying, there's lots of different ways to talk about what is being said here with Bet Online and Pinnacle with different numbers. So let's take a look at the cash flow and see if that will help illuminate anything and make sure that action is helping us with it. And they have everything up. So let's go to all markets. In the cash flow scenario here, 97% of the tickets and 93% of the cash is on the over. We've been seeing a lot of that, and a lot of these games are going over. When we go down through today's card, there is not one baseball game with tickets and money on the under. Not one on the entire card. Overs are cashing. a pretty interesting situation that we're dealing with here. So 97% of tickets, 93% cash on the over, 90% of tickets, 93% cash on the Yankees. Castillo, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 4 walks, and a 4-3 win at the Orioles. Heel, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 14 Ks, 1 walk, and a 6-1 win at home over the White Sox. So he's got consecutive home starts. Mariners aren't hitting righties, 229, 679 OPS. Nobody's got a better OPS versus righties in Major League Baseball than the Yankees, 259, 771, Judge raking. And both bullpens have been very good. The Mariners bullpen, 3.65 ERA, 1.18 whip, converted 13 of 16 save opportunities. That's the best save opportunity percentage in Major League Baseball, the Mariners. Yankees, 2.93 ERA, 1.15 whip, converted 18 of 25 save opportunities. Here we go, Jose. Game 1, Mariners, Yankees. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a tough game for me. I lean Yankees. Everyone should probably guess that by now. I've said at several points on this show that Luis Gil is my favorite Yankees pitcher to bet on. But I think the word's starting to get out, especially after his performance last time. I think Luis Castillo is a roller coaster that I don't like to ride, honestly. And again, I just don't ever trust the Mariners' bats. I just wish their offense was good enough to hold on to the division lead. It's the reason why everyone believes in the Astros, really. But yeah, I stayed off this game. Again, I guess I lean under, but all this money on the over. And I don't really see much of a movement, Jimmy, honestly. You know, it's interesting. There's some books like Bet Online open this at 7.5, juice to the over. Bovada opened this at an 8, minus 110, and at one point it even got up to an 8.5, and then just plummeted down to 7.5, which is very interesting. And then, you know, Bookmaker opened up 7 minus 110, 7.5, excuse me, and now you're seeing 8s there. So it's pretty conflicting across the board for me. You know, just X's and O's wise, I lean under, but I think it's a difficult game, and so I stayed off.
And I'm thinking of focusing more on sides than totals if I can. Londo says, do you think Heel goes over or under his 7.5K prop? You know, the man to ask that is the capper who's joining us in the next game. But I will tell you, Londo, when the pitcher has 14 strikeouts and the books put it at 7.5 in the next game, it's the kind of red flag that Nutflush Allen looks for. And he would, you know, just if it was on market alone, Nutflush would be on that under, because he'd say, why would the books possibly put it at 7.5 after a 14K game? So that is a tricky thing. Again,
it's also the Stephen Curry fade him after a 50-point game. You know, like you can't back a pitcher after their like career best outing, like break. I think someone said it broke a Yankees record for rookie strikeouts in an outing. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the Yankees kind of have a long history, and they've had a lot of rookie pitchers in their years. So yeah, no.
And my dude Luis Gil has Rookie of the Year odds at 6-1, and my dude truly believes that Gil wins Rookie of the Year. And so then you would have to look at how many innings he's pitched and how comfortable they will be throwing Gil down the stretch. That's always the most important thing. So
yeah, I'd be shocked if he got postseason starts. Honestly, I'd be pretty surprised, but we'll see.
Andrew G says the books haven't caught up to Heel yet. That's legit. And Joe Yerger says, and it was the White Sox, which is another good point.
I mean, I think they've caught up to Heel. He's a minus almost 150 favorite against Luis Castillo.
I think he's more talking about the 7.5K prop.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I hear you. TJ says value on Seattle here. I agree.
I'd probably agree with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I was just sitting here, you know, not doing this publicly, I would think that I can't go up against this market move. It makes me uncomfortable. All right, so we have no action in Mariners-Yankees, although it's a very interesting game. Now, we have no pregame action. That doesn't mean we can't move live. So this game pops off in 41 minutes, and our accounts are locked and loaded, so we'll see if we can fire on anything live. Nothing.
Would you be more interested in the Mariners if the Yankees scored first?
No, that's not. If it depends how they score. If it's a homer, if Castillo's pitching well, and you know he leaves one pitch up or something like that, but if they're getting hits off of him, that's the huge difference for me, and that's been really successful for me. If it's just like a bad pitch and someone goes yard, I'm very comfortable moving on a live under or sticking with the team that's down around. If they're compiling hits and getting barrels, then I want nothing to do with it. So it all depends. That's why you have to watch very closely these games instead of just seeing the score and moving. That's of course, when you're betting live. Let's bring on a ringer. Star of the Odds Bunch show every day, Monday through Friday, at least Monday through Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Hasn't been being able to rock it because he's been working, but the show is a must watch. You hear Peter Loshak and respected people in the industry talk about the work our next guest is doing in the pitching prop situation with his black book. Please welcome our guy and yours, Sharpie, back to the show. Sharpie, how are you?
Oh, bro, we chilling, man. We're the founders of the BBW Football League, and we're looking for sponsors. So shout us, hook us up.
Wow.
What are the weight requirements?
What are the weight requirements?
Must be 280 to play.
Okay, must be 280.
Fair.
Well, if she ain't 280, she ain't a lady.
That's fair. I think Jeff would be very interested, as we all are.
Let's start it up. I got plans. Got my LLC going.
Oh.
I like that as the league slogan as well. If you ain't 280, you're not a lady. I think that's a good slogan as well.
And speaking of what you guys were talking about, like, I know, or I've figured out how the books set their K-prop line. So when they jump up Gil to 7.5, as he's never been higher than a 6.5, it's because no one is going to bet the under. The books have to give themselves an extra 5% on what ifs when you're facing a team who's striking out 27% of their at-bats over their last 15 days. Go look at past history and go look at their last 15 days K percentage. And if the books don't adjust it, that's when you pay attention. So it's either over or nothing on him, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on him.
No, this is not a. It's not a.
It's also his best matchup to date. He hasn't faced any team that chases, whiffs, or chase contact like Seattle. They're bottom 5 in every one. He hasn't faced a team with 2 or 3 categories. So he's faced a lot of tough teams by strikeout wise. If you go look at who he's played, Toronto twice. If you go just look through all of them, they're all going to be middle of the pack to the end of the tier. So they have to jump him up, just like they had to jump Nestor up. This is called the Seattle tax.
Interesting breakdown. Andrew G says he might have to bet heel. Will and Isaiah Scurry on Skeens under 17.5 out. So let's let our guy Isaiah lead us into this next spot here. Dan Bonner in the house as well. Great to see you, Dan. And I'm that heat on Skeens Ks at 7 and a win. So 7 Ks and a win. Barry Smith says, does Sharpie have a show? Sharpie, let everybody know about what's going on.
We'll do that at the end. Let's talk baseball. I'll do that when I say goodbye.
12:35 p.m. Eastern. We have a big one here. San Francisco Giants 24-26, 9-16 on the road. The Pittsburgh Pirates 23-27, 10-13 at home. Justin McKelvey has already given us the over 4.5 team total for the Pirates. He's going to be live at the game. That's at plus 104. Smooth Balls plays of the day has moved on Skeens over 7.5 Ks at minus 104. So, and also Morgan Spooner has a strong lean to the Pirates team total under 4.5. He says the Skeens effect will amp up opposing pitchers and bring less camaraderie to the Bucs offense, which is a very interesting take. Joe Yerger says Skeens tax starting to form, and Wine Time Sports, Pittsburgh, San Francisco under 8. And shout out to Wine Time Sports for cashing his 2-unit bet yesterday with confidence that Philly Rangers game. So let's roll. Mason Black versus Paul Skeens. Well, we know all about Skeens. Let's talk about Mason Black, whom we don't know much about. 24-year-old out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. And he is a big boy, 6'3", 230. And third-round pick, 2021 draft by the Giants out of Lehigh. This year in the PCL League, a very tough league to pitch in. 26 and 2/3 through 6 starts. He was extremely good. I mean, he earned this opportunity. 1.01 ERA, 0.90 whip, 29 strikeouts and 8 walks. He allowed 1 home run, 3 earned runs. And he was just very, very good. So then he comes into the show and gets absolutely rocked. Ron Loft in the house, great to see you. Benjamin Mills says he sees Eric Miller as the starter. Wow. Let's see if that...
It's the opener. Miller's going to open, and then Black is the primary.
Okay, very important. Thank you for that, Benjamin. Very, very important. So Miller going to be the opener in the game, and then Mason Black comes in trying to do whatever they can to give Mason Black some confidence. Skeens coming off that spectacular performance. He saw the Cubs in both his first 2 starts. Good hitting ball club. Last start, he was spectacular. 6 innings, 11 Ks, 1 walk in that 9-3 win. Giants first righties, 246, 697. But the Pirates, horrific against righties, 226, 26. Both bullpens have been really bad this year. Giants bullpen 4.53 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, converted 8 of 15. Pirates bullpen 4.42 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, converted 14 of 25. Let's get into the line history and the weather. Our guy Justin McKelvey will be at this game, and beautiful weather. Not sunny, 76 Fahrenheit, 4.7 miles per hour out to left center. So really nice weather for a ball game. And then we have the total. This total right now at Pinnacle is sitting at 8. This opened up at 8, and it moved to 7.5 at 11:30 this morning. And then it only lasted there for 12 minutes before it got right back to 8. Interestingly enough, about 7 minutes ago, it moved up to 8.5, and it didn't even last a minute there. Went right back to 8. So it did touch 8.5, 8 minutes ago. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 98% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the over. And then you have 15% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. So sharp action on these Giants. Let's take a look at that money line here. That money line has the Giants at plus 169. They opened up at plus 149. So the books do not care that the big bets have come in on the San Francisco Giants. Sharpie, take it away. The floor is yours. Black, Skeens, Giants, Pirates.
I ain't got much to say on Mason Black. I actually had some high hopes for him when they did call him up, and he ain't panned out the way he should, or you expect a guy like him should pan out in the big leagues. Now, with Eric Miller starting, it actually has me now looking at that first 3 under 2.5, because this guy's only given up a run in 3 games this year, has been pretty much locked down, and I'm not scared of the Pittsburgh Pirates. You're going to ease Black into to the back half of the lineup, and I expect Skeens to do Skeens things. I'm here to talk about one guy. And one guy only. As the guy giving out all these Skeens unders and stuff, he got a Giants hats on, bro. And do not bet with your fucking heart, bro. Just don't do it. Just don't. Especially versus Hogs. Paul Skeens, guys, he gets the Giants, who over the last 15 days versus right-handed pitching are the best in the league in walk percentage, tops in the league at not striking out at just 16.5% of their at-bats, while being bottom 5 in the league in isolated power. They're not hitting bombs, and they're getting Paul Skeens, guys. Now, let's go talk about, that's the reason also why that opens at plus money. We're talking about the lines earlier on Gil, how they do a tax for a team. We got a team who's not striking out. The books fucking know that. We got people who look through, I believe this ESPN guy gave out Peralta's under because 11 straight pitchers at home, hasn't had 5 strikeouts in Miami. Like, people really freaking bet this way, guys. Look at who they're playing. The Giants haven't played one flame-throwing hog over the last 15 days. Now, they have seen Yamamoto. He went 5.2 innings with 6 strikeouts. And go back past those numbers. We look at a guy like Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler had 7 innings, 11 punch-outs versus this Giants team who don't strike out. Go back through other guys throughout this year, guys, who throw heavy fastball, high-velocity fastballs with sliders. Edward Cabrera, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Now, Cease ended up on 7, and Glasnow as well ended up on 7, but Glasnow 5 days prior in spring training struck out, I believe it was 9 of his first freaking 10 batters, and it was pretty much a back-to-back. So any which way, every one of those guys had Jung-Ho Lee in that lineup. A guy striking out 8.2% of his bats this year. He ain't in this lineup, let alone we get a moving day lineup. We have 6 guys in this lineup, guys, who whiff at a fastball and a slider. That's not going to be good, guys, who's fastball slider with a split finger, guys. This guy is Spencer Strider-esque, and I like to compare pitchers, if you know me, guys. And we're going to compare him to Spencer Strider because who else got a 100-mile-per-hour fastball with a wipeout slider? Oh, wait. Spencer fucking Strider. Spencer Strider's seen this team twice, 7 innings both times, 1 to no earned runs, 9 to 10 punch outs, and it wasn't moving day lineups, guys, and those were back-to-backs when he seen them, and he still did that. High-velocity guys with wipeout sliders does damage to this team. I am on Skeens pitching outs over 16.5 at -120. The best line available now is -125. So give me that. That's over at which one was that? Bet Rivers, I believe that one's at. And I'm on a strikeouts over 7.5 as well, guys. When we look through the lineup, like I said, we have 6 guys who can strike out at least twice. The guys that I've got striking out once in this lineup are in the 2-3 hole. But if we go look at what they've done versus Spencer Strider, they've struck out 7 of their 19 at bats, guys. They could probably strike out more than once. I've got him for 8 to 12 strikeouts today, guys, as the only guy I don't have him striking out is Matos. And that's fine. One guy in this lineup cannot strike out. There's multiple guys in here who can strike out twice. It should be a monster day for him.
I love the breakdown. Luke Murphy did find you the Ks, the outs at -115. I just want to see what Penny is offering. See if we can. Yeah, here we go. Skeens outs over 16.5 -103.
There you go.
Over
I
at
mean,
Pinnacle.
I bet -120 realistically. I don't care about the best number, but if you're looking for the best number, there it is.
And Keen strikeouts -126 right now at Pinnacle.
Let me search for a better number than that.
And I'll do that as well here while Jose gives us his plan and breakdown for Giants Pirates. Jose, take it away.
Yeah, I honestly don't have much to say. I think -176 is a little ridiculous.
Wow. Sorry to interrupt, but listen
ahead.
to the difference again, Jose. This stuff is nuts. Skeens over 7.5 strikeouts at Bet 365 -105.
He's -105 at MGM as well.
Wow. Okay, keep rocking, Jose. That's a 21-cent difference. It's just unbelievable.
That
Keep
is
rolling.
crazy. Yeah, but I think it's a little excessive, but I mean, you guys just heard Sharpie mention that Skeens has a definite chance to dominate these bats here. Now, the question is, can the Pirates bullpen hold it after that? Because, I mean, I don't know how many pitches we'll see from Sharpie. You probably have a better grip of that than I do. I'd say, I would be shocked if he went 100 pitches, for
He
example.
went 100 last week, so I expect 90 to 100.
Really? All right. Well, yeah. Then I just guessing then it's the Pirates bullpen that I'd be worried about here, and I don't know how far he'll go. I don't trust the Giants bats. I was looking into Made Black as well, and I was like, I was kind of going back and forth, and then nothing really stood out to me in this game and got me onto the Giants. So I stayed off, but I'll have fun watching them. I'll tell you that. I'll be watching this game, watching Skeens punch dudes out, and Sharpie, I'll be rooting for your outs.
And Pinnacle, Leonard, was the best one. Boss 702 on the Giants. So we can get you that even money on the Ks. That's
what I got. I bet the even money at DraftKings. So it was actually plus money for a while just before I ended up. I waited for the lineups. I wait for lineups, and they straight up put a moving day lineup in here. So it's just like, are you really going to give me these guys? Whistler, Cassell, Ramos, Jastrzemski, Soler, and Chapman, all whiffing a fastball and slider. And this is one of the best fastballs and sliders. Like this is a joke.
I love the breakdown. A lot of love in the chat for your breakdown as well. Sharpie moving on. Skeens over 16.5 outs. Skeen over 7.5 Ks. Robert Franklin laddering Skeens to 11. Troy Torrance on the under 8.
I was with Jose though on the full game thing about Pittsburgh's bullpen falling apart late, and they were using their better guys. Like I really wanted the freaking Giants team total under. Like that, I used to pound Strider with that, Glass now with that. Like when I got dogs, I don't want to worry about the other side. I know what's gonna happen with this guy, but it's like what's gonna happen those last 3 innings. You know, it's like fuck, man. I don't want to trust the Pirates bullpen. I hate trusting any bullpen, to be real with you. That's why I go for 7s or 3s.
It's funny you're not trusting any bullpen except for the A's bullpen for some reason. I need to get the starter out. I'm like, please bring in the bullpen. And I've never felt that way ever. With Spence last night, I was like, just get Spence out, get him out. I was very thankful to cash that first 5 under. Sharpie, I love it. Schemes over 16.5 outs, -103, over 7.5 Ks at even money. And Sharpie, let everybody know where they can find you, my man.
You can find me on Twitter at Sharpie's Bets, or you can find me at The Odds Bunch on YouTube. Click on my freaking comments in the freaking YouTube, and it'll bring you over there. I do my show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. And, tune in or don't. But we winning, baby.
And please join us anytime that you can. We love having you. There he is, Sharpie in the house. Sharpie, have a great day. All right, we move on. We have a few spots here before TJ joins us for back-to-back action. And at 1:05 p.m., our next game, we have Ron Crawford's dog play of the day, as well as Billy Friedrich's pig milk play of the day. So shout out to both of you fine gentlemen. And Ron Crawford, the dog play of the day, 6-3 up 6.18 units. And he is on the Texas Rangers plus 175. Shout out to our Ron Crawford. Here we go. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. We have these Phillies 21-8 at home, 36-14. The number one team in baseball. We have our guy Jose, who has them to win this year's World Series. What did you get them at, anyways?
I don't have a future on them, unfortunately. I don't bet futures. I just said they were going to win the World Series. Don't remind me of it either. It's disgusting, but.
So you were just telling us you're lean?
Well, I mean, I just told you guys the two best teams, I thought. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't bet futures, Jimmy. You know this. After my first year betting a shitload of futures, I'm basically losing them all. So you know what? Fuck this.
No, futures are bad money. But
I wish I had this future in. Yes, you're right.
Your biggest scores, and they're fun. It's just fun to have something in your pocket. But I hear you.
I mean, I'll eventually at some point I'll be on the Phillies, winning the World Series. But I think that you could make as much money also betting them just game to game in the playoffs as well. So, but we'll get there when we get there. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about that because if they have the best regular season by far, they'll be favorites until they play the Braves. When they'll still probably be favorites at home. But I hear what you're saying. We have Philadelphia opening up at -200. They're now -196. This was a fascinating watch. I know a lot of you guys are watching the market nonstop. I know TJ watched the market nonstop. I watched the market all day. I've been following this nonstop because my expectation was the same as Joe Yurkovich's. Why would this not be rolling towards the Philadelphia Phillies, which it has not, which means that it's not a cash cow situation, which is another thing that you would have expected in this. From a total situation, this is an 8. It's an 8. This opened up at 8, and it moved to 8.5 at 4:30 in the morning. It lasted there till 9:55 in the morning. So overall, we still have had 5 cents of movement to the under, but we did see it bounce up. Very, very, very tricky. And Troy Torrance says futures are one of the biggest ROIs for the bookies every year. They're the biggest. It's the biggest ROI for the bookies every year, as far as I know. Remember, I don't know if you were there with the show where Pete Loshak gave us the true odds for these future, or what but whatever. It's not smart money. Your bookies are begging you to hammer the futures board.
I only make futures with my local though, just because it's credit, so that makes it easier, obviously.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's that. I think that even hurt. That I used to just hammer the board because of that.
Yeah. That's where it could go wrong.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I've been trying so hard. Like in baseball this year, I have 2. And the only reason why I made the second one because I know I'm going to cash the first one. Jay's team total under 86.5 wins. So then I put that money that I'm going to win on the Astros to win the division at plus 350. Yeah. So here we go. Andrew Heaney going up against a Phillies team that smashes lefties. Andrew Heaney 0-5, 4.43 ERA. Actually, can you get the last 14 days weighted runs created for the Phillies? Jose, Andrew Heaney 0-5, 4.43 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. Last start was ugly. His 9-3 loss at home versus the Angels. We talk about the history he has with the Angels. Very, very sad history with the Angels. And he didn't deliver. Zach Wheeler coming off a great start, 4-2 win at home versus the Nationals, 7 1/3, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 3 walks. While the Phillies rake lefties, the Rangers hit righties hard, 257-29. The Rangers bullpen is officially the worst in Major League Baseball, 5.22 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, converting 9 of 16. While the Phillies bullpen 4.25 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, converting 15 of 22. Let's get into the weather because Lee Davis has potential late start here. We have light rain in the forecast, light rain that does stop. So you're right. This is a potential late start situation. 7.6 miles per hour in, goes to 6.2. So these starters could be waiting for a little while. And then let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. And another spot, 82% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the over, 92% of the tickets, 88% cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. Here we go. Wine Time Sports is on the under 8.5 at -120. And DC Capper is on Philadelphia -1.5. There's our guy Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Chosen One's on the under 8. And BJ says no value. Texas bullpen is horrid. And the Phillies bullpen had a bad start to the year, but they've been playing better.
Yeah,
Troy
where
Torrance
the fuck was his bullpen last year when I was fucking saying how bad it was last year?
Oh man, and I was sorry. I thought you were talking about the Phillies bullpen because I had the 18-1 on the Phillies to win the World Series last year. Take it away for us here, Jose. Rangers, Phillies.
Yeah, you need a little disappointment to come back and win the World Series this year. That's what I'm.
By the way, TJ
hoping
is adding an official play on this game. So you know what, TJ, we'll bring you on right after Jose's breakdown here so we can hear it live. Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, I mean, how the Rangers seem very appealing, honestly. And if I was more confident, I guess I'd be on it. I thought about taking a team total even as well against Zach Wheeler. I was a little sketched out as that as well. So last few weeks, let's do Phillies against lefties to start this off here because I have righties to start this, but we'll do lefties to start this off. You know, Fangraphs, for those who always ask, Fangraphs a good resource for splits and such. Phillies against lefties, 12th, 189 plate appearances, 110 weighted runs created plus for them basically in the last 2 weeks. Against righties for Texas is scroll. Jesus, they are 28th, 82 weighted runs created plus. That's shocking to see. Not hitting the baseball this year. Well, not in these last few weeks. Full season, they're 7th, 107 weighted runs created plus. But it's obvious this is not the offense it was from last year. But I definitely lean Rangers here. I just don't have the balls to make the bet, I guess.
Interesting. We have an official pick coming from our guy TJ. So Jose, let's bring him on. TJ in the house. TJ, how are you?
Oh, you know, after last night's pathetic performance by the Rangers there until the third period, you know, I'm okay. We're good. Baseballs have been good, but you know, when your favorite team loses this deep, you know.
Yeah, this is just a never-ending battle that we fight here.
Oh yeah,
and it just doesn't end. Take it away, and we love it, right?
Oh, for sure.
But you have to remind yourself of that sometimes, over and over again. TJ, you have a move here. Take it away.
Yeah, I was looking at Zach Wheeler's numbers, and you know, he started with losing 3 of his first 4 games. I'm not big on win-loss decisions. Obviously, a lot factors into that, but he has won 5 of his last 6 with 1 no decision. You know, you look at his splits at home. He's got a 1.63 ERA, you know, 159 batting average, 225 on base percentage, only a 239 slugging. I mean, he's shutting these guys down at home. And then you look at what Texas does versus righties over the last 14 games. You know, they're batting 196 with a 291 on base, a 628 OPS, and only a 142 ISO. So they're not hitting for power against righties. Their bullpen's terrible. I'm not going to lay the juice on the Phillies, but I'm going to take Zach Wheeler to record a win. It was -105. I just bet it at Heritage, and then they took it down. So the best I can find is -115 on Bet Online. Yeah, Wheeler to record the win.
Wheeler to record the win, and we have your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again play of the day. Philadelphia -1.5 and the over 7.5 from Mikey Money at +225. So TJ, official pick here is our guy Zach Wheeler to record the win. To win at -1. Do you say -115 is available right now?
Yeah, it's available at Bet Online right now.
All right.
To add to the intrigue here, no Corey Seager as well in the lineup.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, locked and loaded for TJ. Zach Wheeler to record the win. We got Mikey Money's action. We got Ron Crawford's action. We got Billy Friedrich's action. A lot of action. Philly Eagle Fly says, I can see the ball flying out today. I mean, we talked about every single can you give us, TJ, your take on a situation where all of the tickets and the money are on all of the overs on every game on the card today. Where does that send you when you see that information?
I think there's some obviously recency bias. A lot of overs have been coming in. There's a lack of trust in bullpens. Closers are blowing saves at an all-time high. You got the extra inning factor with the runner on base. And then you got day games and people want to bet, and people bet overs. The general public bets overs. So, and then I know there's a lot of talk in the chat about, this money line and the movement towards the Rangers. I mean, they're still plus a shit ton of money. So it's not like cappers are saying, yeah, the Rangers win this 50% of the time. They're betting the value that, okay, they win this 42% of the time, and I like the number, right? So it's not like people are projecting, Texas to win at a -110 here.
And Billy Friedrich also liking he needs to record under 14.5 outs at even money. Lucky Lefty looking at no score first inning. And in the month of May, the average percent of bets and money on the over is 77 and 76 respectively. Unbelievable. Wow. Jeez.
And more people are betting now than ever before, with all these mobile apps and everything. And you got a lot of kids and a lot of people that are new at this and they want to see runs. I mean, it's just natural. I used to do it too when I started out.
When the fuck is this shit going to turn? That's what I want to know. Is it just the weather? I don't know. When the fuck is this going to turn, and when is the public going to start taking ass beatings?
And look at this. Compare that to last May, 59 and 52. And that could be
That's crazy.
Answered exactly with what TJ did with the growing gamblers in North America with the legalization. Wow, that's unbelievable and very interesting, Troy. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, TJ, my man, we'll have you back here for your best bets back to back here, and that happens in 2 games time. TJ, we'll see you very soon. Let's go, Jose. 1:10 p.m. Eastern with the San Diego Padres 26 and 26, 16 and 10 on the road at Cincinnati Reds, 20 and 29, 10 and 14 at home. Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. A couple gas cans on the mound. Matt Waldron coming off a great start at the Braves. Just a great start. Make fun of Waldron, the knuckleballer, and look what he did. 10 strikeouts, 2 walks against the hard-hitting Braves, neutralizing those tough Braves bats.
Yeah, he gave it to me up the ass that day, I remember.
5 ERA, 1.42 whip, 45 Ks, 45 innings. Look, I was with you. That was the
we were hoping that the knuckleball would fix the Braves lineup. It did not.
Yeah, I bet the cash cow 3 times and lost the 3 times I bet it, and that was the last one there. Frankie Montas, 2 and 3, 4.37 ERA, 1.37 whip, 25 strikeouts in 35 innings. I'm a fan of Frankie Montas. I know he's a PED user. I'm not a fan of the person. Was a PED user, whatever. But I believed in him coming up with the A's, and
could be worse.
And I like that he was begging to pitch at the end of the year for the Yankees last year. I kind of, I know he's disrespected amongst, baseball heads because of the prior PED use, and I get it. But what I've noticed with Frankie Montas is that, he looks so good, and then the lineup sees him one time and then starts barreling. And then you just got to hope that the fielders are in the right spot. Last start, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 K, 3 walks, 7-3 loss at the Dodgers. Padres are raking against righties right now, 275, 756. The Reds are not. The Reds are just horrific offensively, 211, 637 OPS. The Padres bullpen's been quite good, as has the Reds bullpen, depending on what stats you care about the most. But Padres bullpen 3.64 ERA, 1.18 whip, converted 14 and 19. Reds bullpen 4.08 ERA, 1.27 whip, converted 8 of 11. Lucky Lefty on the Padres first 5 -1. A DC Capper on the Padres -110. And Dan Kelly says FanDuel has an odds boost on SGP. Skeens over 5.5 Ks in Pittsburgh. Moneyline pays +150. He bet it. And we have Troy Torrance saying the public got absolutely spanked last June. In June. Completely liquidated here. Remos leaning towards the under 9.5. So let's get into this line history here and the weather as well. So, and the lineups. I mean, we got it all here. The lineup, this lineup, I mean, Luke Maye at catcher. I mean, God, how bad is this lineup? I mean, who would have thought that you get, Dela Cruz, batting second, switch hitting, and you can't build anything around him? I mean, this is one of the ugliest lineups in baseball. And we thought there was such high hopes for Reds fans. And then with the Padres, you got Arise now batting first, Tatis batting second, Machado now back to fifth. And then, you still got Peralta and Merrill in this lineup, Ha-Seong Kim, you got Higashioka behind the plate. It's surprising that the Padres are hitting as hard as they are. And if you could give us the numbers for the Padres against righties, weighted runs created over the last 14 days would be great. Jose, so this total is sitting at 9.5. It's sitting at 9.5. This opened at 9.5, minus 101 to the under. And now, and it didn't take long for a 10-cent. Well, I guess it did. It took about 6 hours for a 10-cent move to the under. Right now, we have 11 cents of movement to the under. It's at minus 112. From a money line look, sorry, here we go. From a money line spot. God, annoying. Gotta figure this stupid shit out here. Sorry about that. On the money line at Pinnacle, we have the Padres at minus 108. They opened up at minus 104. 4 cents of movement to the Padres. Then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, you have 58% of tickets, 56% of cash on the over. There's no other game today with as many tickets on the under as there are as this one. Then you have 45% of tickets and 76% of cash on the Padres. I guess some sharp action, but line's not moving very quickly towards them. Gerald Jones says the Reds are last in MLB batting average. Mikey Money looking at Waldron under 3.5 earned runs. Says tough spot for Cincy. Also Padres first 5. Take it away for us here, Jose. Padres Reds.
Yeah, disgusting lineup, but I still want to bet the over in this baseball game. 9.5. It's plus money right now, or was. I need to double check here. Frankie Montas, you mentioned it, has been okay, but I think this Padres lineup is just going to be good enough to get to him here. Last 14 days, and that's from the 8th to today. They are 6th, 120 weighted runs created plus against righties. Full season, they're 2nd, 122. In Cincinnati, dead last against righties. Jimmy, you want to know who's 2nd to last against righties in these last few weeks?
God, who would it be? Can't be. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wow.
The Los Angeles Dodgers against righties are 76 weighted runs created plus in these last few weeks against right-handed pitching. Wow. Pretty surprising. But yeah, I still like the over in this game. I've said it several times. I don't trust Matt Waldron. I won't bet on him, and I will continue to fade him. So over in this game for me. Going to make it official. 9.5. I'll tell you the juice right now.
Going to get that juice here. Also, Montas, has pretty good numbers against these guys.
Straight even money.
And Cincinnati gets to Waldron. They have great numbers against Waldron. Actually, there are solo shots. The homers are all solo shots, but strong numbers again, and not all through the lineup. But I guess I was a little. I guess I just saw the Candelario home run, and Dela Cruz has gone yard against them. I don't feel comfortable with this spot here. I don't feel comfortable with Waldron after a great start. I think I know who Waldron really is. Jose, you're on the over 9.5 at even money.
Yep.
All right. Jose has spoken here. Jose has spoken. We move on. Oh, do you want to add something?
No. I was just imagining myself as a giant tiki now, as a big statue saying that I've spoken.
Jose, let's roll into Braves Cubs at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. And red alert.
Oh, no.
Red alert.
Fuck. Say it ain't so.
We have a red alert.
Tell me he's not on the Braves, or thought about being on the Braves, I should say.
This is the Braves team total over 4.5 is the waffle play of the day.
Well, that takes out one of my plays today, guys.
So, AJ Smith Shawver going up against Ben Brown. Drewski is on Braves money line and over 3.5 runs. And let's talk about this spot because it's tricky. AJ Smith Shawver, he's been horrible in AAA this year. And I've had a problem. Now, and I didn't do it last year. And I guess this was a problem 3 years ago, 4 years, 5 years ago. When a pitcher would come up who's been getting lambasted in AAA, I would fade them. And it wasn't working. They would pitch well in the show. And we've seen it happen quite a few times already this year. Now, AJ Smith Shawver, when he came up as a 20-year-old, I mean, remember, this kid is so young, 21 years old, 7th round pick in the 2021 draft out of high school. That's a high draft pick for a high school kid. When he came up last year, he'd been spectacular in 2023. He went from high A to double A and to triple A in 2023. He had 15 starts across those 3 leagues, and he had a 1.13 whip. He had a 2.76 ERA. He had 79 strikeouts in 62 innings. He did walk a lot of batters. So then he comes to the show and he looked great for a 20-year-old. I mean, how 4.26 ERA? I mean, what else are you asking of this guy? He had a 1.11 whip. He looked great. Now, he again walked too many batters. The walks are a problem. So what happens to the 21-year-old kid when he doesn't break with the big club? He pitches badly. We've seen this happen often, and we saw it happen with AJ Smith Shawver. Going up against Ben Brown. Ben Brown has not had a start since May 2nd, but he's been pitching out of the bullpen. On May 19th, he went 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and 3-2 loss at home. On May 2nd, his last start, 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 5 walks, 7-6 extra inning loss at the Mets. Ben Brown is an interesting prospect, and one we've talked about as well, because Ben Brown was a 33rd round pick out of high school in the 2017 draft, 24 years old, and Brown has looked really good in the show. Last year, he had 4 starts in Double A and was unhittable. I mean, unhittable in 20 innings. Went up to Triple A and got touched. He had 15 starts up there. Came out of the bullpen 7 other times. 5.33 ERA, a 1.53 whip for him. So that is Ben Brown, who in his last start again was decent against the Mets. Braves are hitting .250 and then have these surprisingly meek homer numbers against righties, just 728 OPS. And the Cubs versus righties, it's an important thing to talk about, because I keep thinking that the Cubs just have a great offense, but they smash lefties and they don't get to righties. And Skeens pitched against them back to back. And maybe I keep thinking, oh, it's a good offense, but look what they're doing against righties this year. 223, 680 OPS. This Braves bullpen's been very good of late. 3.24 ERA, 1.26 whip overall in the season. Now they've only converted 13 of 22 saves. Cubs bullpen's been a bit of a problem all season long. We don't have. Oh, and Kyle Hendricks is the primary. Wow. So it's going to go. I didn't realize that either. We have a confirmed lineup. So it's going to go Shawver to Kyle Hendricks. Hendricks 0-4, 10.57.
Brown to Kyle Hendricks.
Sorry?
Ben Brown to Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah, Ben Brown to Kyle Hendricks. That is the situation here. So looking at the lineup, Acuna, Albies, Ozuna, Olsen, Arcia, Harris, Kalanick, Tromp in center field, or catcher, and Williams at third. So it's not the strongest Braves lineup. For the Cubbies, Tauchman, Suzuki, Bellinger, Morel, Happ, Horner, Bush, Swanson, and Yan Gomes. So that's the situation. Billy Brisbane says Hendricks is so bad, worse than Patrick Corbin. Let's go through this line history here. From a line history standpoint, the Braves are now dogs. Braves are plus 104. They opened up at minus 118. So we've had a huge move towards the Chicago Cubs, up from plus 109 to minus 112. A very, very big move, and a surprisingly big move. On the total, we have it sitting at 8.5. This opened up at 9. It moved to 8.5 at 10:38 a.m. Now, it's juiced quite heavily to the over 8.5, so it's not a big move. but this is a pretty fascinating market. And then when we get to the cash flow, you have 90% of tickets, 87% of cash, and it's dipped. You have 72% of tickets and 99% of the cash on the Braves, and the lines moved to the Cubs. Alfred 44 says it's like the move to the Mets yesterday. It's exactly like that move to the Mets. And that looked like the right bet for 6 innings of that baseball game. Take it away, Jose. Your thoughts, Braves, Cubs.
Yeah, I mean, I was coming in here going to say Cubs money line, but I don't want to go up against the most profitable angle in sports betting, the waffle play of the day. I also like an under in this game. Jimmy, you mentioned all that money on the over. We're dipping down. I just don't trust the Braves developing pitchers. I really don't, even though they've had Spencer Strider and Fried. I just really don't trust they're developing, and then they've obviously not had a high draft pick in a while, and then all that stuff. So I just don't know if I trust Smith Shaver here, but I guess I'll just end up staying off because now what I'll say this, I don't think that Kyle Hendricks is going to go like 4 innings in this game. Like I'd be surprised if he went like more than 2 innings personally. I think this is going to be like, because I don't know what the Cubs brass is thinking. I guess they just let Kyle Hendricks go out there and start because he's been there forever. But Ben Brown was the better pitcher, and he started off the season in the bullpen. Finally got his chance to start. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run. Then they throw him right back into the bullpen, mess up his routine. He comes back out in a starting role against the Red Sox, and he got touched up for his worst outing of his season. And I just am worried that they messed up his routine again of being a starter, going out there every other day. And now they threw him back in the bullpen, and now he's got to go back to being a starter. So honestly, I guess I've got to stay off here. That's concerned me. And then, like I said, I don't want to see Kyle Hendricks in any part of this game because Kyle Hendricks is washed up, to say the least. So I guess I'm staying off. I lean under and I lean Cubs, but no action for me.
Billy Frieder says just look at batter versus pitcher numbers versus Hendricks. They smash. Doesn't it feel like they're saying that this spot is set up for Shaver to get violated?
Well, the move to the under with all that money on the over is concerning because I had this opening up at 9 many places, unfortunately, not just Bet Online. This opened up at a 9 at Bet Online, like I mentioned, a 9 minus 115 to the under. This opened up at Bovada, 9 minus 115 to the under. Bookmaker the same way, and they've all dropped down. Bovada sells a 9 minus 120 actually, but Bet Online, Bovada, Bookmaker, both have 8.5s here, which is concerning.
Billy Frieder says 155 plate appearances on the Braves. Batting average on base, slugging 375, 419, 715. Wine time is on the under 9 at minus 110. I like Ben Brown, and I think that it's now. I'm the only hesitancy I have of taking the Cubs first 5 is Shaver, getting back to the show and showing that he belongs. And he didn't earn this opportunity with a 6 ERA, but that hasn't been working. TJ says projected score from his model 4.8 to 3.6 in favor of the Cubs. Personally, he bet them at plus 101 this morning. I want the Cubs, and I'm going to move on the Cubs. I'm going to be on the Cubs.
God bless you.
I'm going to be on the Cubs first 5, I think. I'm going to be on the Cubs first 5. My dude says Bellinger gets his RBI today. They didn't get us 2 days ago. Morgan Spooner says Hendricks is the least emotional pitcher he's ever seen. I wouldn't expect negative results. I think he's due to pitch better. Maybe the changeup is dead, though. Wine Time says, Wine Time being healthy. We respect that. And TJ says Troy would love to hear numbers on the home team dog to favorite record. Home team dog to favorite record. Okay, Cubs first 5 for me. And I
go up against sort of the waffle play of the day.
I don't feel like this is that, but is sort of going up against it. I wonder what got him off of it. Here.
I wish you luck.
I do not feel like I'm going up. I don't feel like I'm going up against it.
You don't feel like it, but
no.
The waffle dictates. It commands. And I wish you luck.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. And welcome back, TJ, to the telecast. TJ, my friend, welcome back. Colorado Rockies, Oakland Athletics, Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. We have Ryan Feltner, 1-4, 5.69 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. It's not looked good this year. His last start got touched up at San Francisco. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 2 walks. Going up against Joey Estes, who got lit up and smoked in an 8-1 loss at the Astros. I got in live. That was it. He got through 2 innings really nice. At the bottom of the third, Astros came to play. It was 0-0, and I got in on the full game live over 6.5. And the Astros put up 6 runs in the bottom of the third. And Estes was tagged with 8 earned runs on that spot. I wonder, because he got out of that and started the next one. So, yes, Rangers, Phillies delayed. Thank you, Lee. So, here we go. Let's get into the situation here in Oakland. In Oakland, we have weather-wise, and we didn't talk about the Wrigley weather, but that was my apologies. 8.4 miles per hour right to left across the diamond. Stays between 8.3 and 9.7 in Chicago. My apologies. In Oakland, 65 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour to right field, and it builds as the game goes on, gets up to 9.8. But you know the wind, and it's a pitcher's ballpark, and that huge foul ground. I mean, it's just a ridiculous ballpark that won't be in service soon. Neither of these teams are hitting righties. Rockies on the year, 246, 691 OPS. A's versus righties, 223, 686 OPS. Rockies bullpen, 4.82 ERA, 1.60 WHIP. I mean, that's horrific. 9 saves and 14 opportunities. A's bullpen's been quite good this year, and they worked for me yesterday. Steve G says rocks, fade train rolls, and he's going to be hitting that up again here. So
these are the big games for Steve G with little juice as well.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Let's get into this line history here. Over at Pinnacle, this opened up at 8 at 6:57 p.m. At 8:31 p.m., it goes up to 8.5. It lasts there for an hour and 15 minutes till it's back to 8, and then down to 7.5. A surprise move down to 7.5. It sits at 7.5 from 10:09 p.m. till just before 1 this morning, and then we're back up at 8. We stay at 8 until 9:30 a.m. It drops back 7.5, then back up to 8, and it only lasted at 7.5 for a minute. Then at 9:46 a.m., it goes back 7.5, and then 3 minutes after that, it's back at 8, and then 2 minutes after that, it goes to 7.5, and bounces back. We're bouncing back and forth, and then at 10:06 a.m., it goes to 7.5 and stays. So we've had a half-run move towards the under. Let's take a look at the money line. On the money line, we are sitting there with, a minus 110 on Estes and the A's. They opened up minus 121, so we have a 10-cent move to the Colorado Rockies. And then when we get to the cash flow for this Rockies A's spot, we have it sitting here with 99% of the tickets, 98% of cash on the over, 77% of tickets, and 82% cash on the A's. TJ, best bet time. Take it away.
Yeah, this one really pissed me off. I take a lot of time looking at the board. Every 5 minutes I'm pulling up that screen and looking for changes. And so I put this out on Twitter at over 8, I think minus 113, because I thought it was just going to keep going up to 8.5 again. And 10 minutes later, like you said, it bounced back down to 7.5. So I think there's a lot of strong opinions on two sides on this one, or there's a couple groups just effing with us, and they get that line bet back up and they just slam the under again. Either way, I almost don't care. I'm a numbers guy. I'm looking at this. We got Estes, however you say his name. Sorry. He's a 16th round pick. 487th overall. He was terrible in rookie ball. He was pretty bad in high A, triple A. Just the numbers just aren't there. 8 strikeouts a game, with 3 walks. And then you get up to triple A again this year, 8 strikes out a game, 3 walks. Obviously, he had a rough start to 2024 in the bigs. But there's nothing in his past that indicates to me he's not going to give up runs here. And then I look at the Rockies, their last 14 days versus righties, they're one of the hottest teams in baseball. 282 batting average, 329 on base, 781 OPS. And you got an Oakland Park where the ball travels a lot better during the day than at night. You don't have the marine layer in there. during the day. So then I go to the other side, and you got Feltner, on the road this year, 33 innings, 6.55 ERA, giving up a 307 batting average, high weighted on base, high on base percentage. He's just not getting people out on the road. You look at his game log, he's had one decent start over his past six. Everything else has been very low, very bad, below average. He did go 8 innings in Miami, 3 runs. We know that Miami offense is bad, but otherwise, he has not looked good. So you get into bullpens. Obviously, Colorado's got a terrible bullpen. They had another blown save last night by Beeks, who's their closer. So he's not going to go today. He pitched 21 innings. It's very unlikely he goes again. And then you had some of their scrubs come in for a lot of pitches. So we likely see Lawrence and Kinley. If Feltner doesn't go long, we got Lambert and Molina that'll come in, and they're both terrible. And then you look at the Oakland pen, and they're not going to have Ursage. They're not going to have Adams, Kelly. They will have Mason Miller available, but you got to get to Mason Miller with a lead. And I just don't think they get there. So, to me, this is an easy over. The market is somewhat concerning, but I'm going to stick with it. I would also, highly recommend Colorado, over 3.5 at -120. I just like a lot of runs here, and I'm going to ignore the market move for this one, which is, not common for me. But
I feel you. I
take
feel
the
you.
over, and I'll take what I put up on Twitter since I put it out there.
Over 8 -113. Mikey Money in with the ribeye play date is Luis Arraez at +200. Jose Bouquett, a very interesting spot here in Oakland. Take it away.
Yeah, I admittedly wanted the under. By the way, I think home run in San Francisco Pirates immediately. Andrew McCutchen. Yep, McCutchen hits a home run. But yeah, I didn't I don't have action on this game now. I did want the under in this game, but I'll respect TJ's capping and I'll stay off the under. I just don't trust either one of these offenses, and of course the sweaty part is obviously the bullpens, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely a lean to the under for me, but no action. It seems like again trusting TJ, but Eric Miller, you good for nothing, son of a bitch, huh? Well, lead off home run immediately. Jesus.
You mean, oh yeah, because I don't know why they didn't give Mason the chance here. They deserve to deal with the consequences. That was
That was doing too much 101 right there.
Okay, we have TJ on the over 8. I think this game's filled with volatility, but every time I look at Troy's comments, it makes me want to bet the Colorado Rockies, and then I'm not going to. I need to be really, really confident in a spot, and I'm so nervous about the next game. Troy says, "Why no interest in the Rockies?" I just think volatility is ridiculous, and I don't know why the market's moving towards the under. I understand why TJ's on the over. I think that Estes looked really good through 2 innings, and then he lost himself. I mean, it's going to be much easier pitching at home against the Rockies than it was pitching, at Houston. And the bullpen advantage for the A's is monstrous. Monstrous. So if I had a free bet, sure. Only based on your trends would I take the Rockies. Not based on X's and O's here. And I have to win today. So I'm trying to stick with my most confident spots, and I'm very nervous to hear TJ's action in our next game, which was a triple up spot for me. It was almost a quadruple. So let's move on to that next game. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Toronto Blue Jays 22-26, 10-14 on the road at the Detroit Tigers 23-26, 10-13 at home at Comerica in Detroit, Michigan. Let's get into the weather here in Detroit. Man, I miss Detroit. Just so annoying that at Caesar's Palace in Windsor, they don't let kids in the swimming pool. I mean, now we don't go because they won't let our kids swim. What else are they going to do in the casino? Let them swim in the goddamn pool. 81 Fahrenheit, 10.6 miles per hour right to left Gets down to 7.9 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Jays and Kevin Gausman at minus 103. That's exactly where it opened. Let's get into the total here for this one. And Mikey Money and I go, back and forth. Mikey Money thinks Gausman is a gas can, and I think Gausman's the best pitcher on the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's saying something. It's not like we have a horrible pitching staff. The total opened up at 7.5 minus 107 to the under. There's now been 6 cents of movement towards the over. It's interesting because I thought this was going to move towards the under despite all the cash on the over. I thought it was going to keep moving towards the under. Gift the Cartel says Gausman's been struggling. Look at his last 2 starts. Last start was a quality start, and he was unhittable through the first 4. Quality start. I just don't see how that's struggling. We know the Twins just get to him. Jose's talked about it for years now. I don't know if it's tipping pitches or what, but the Twins get to him. Last start at home, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. He's been bad at home. Look at his last couple starts on the road. He hasn't allowed an earned run. So I'm very nervous about hearing TJ's action here. So Jack Flaherty coming off a great start at Arizona. The Blue Jays hitting 230 and a 677 OPS. Am I concerned that the Jays bats started working yesterday for the first time in a long time? I am, because you can get a little bit of confidence. Now I am on the Jays' first 5. I cut the Jays' first 3 because of the extra juice that they make you pay for the first 3. I have to be so confident. And I couldn't add a minus 125 into my action. It just made no sense from a risk reward standpoint. So I didn't bet that. Flaherty coming off that great start. The Tigers bats are, I'm not scared of those sticks at all. 236, 690 OPS. And despite my belief in this Blue Jays bullpen, I see the stats. I'm reading how bad they are. So that's the situation. The weather, as I said, beautiful, beautiful weather. The wind blowing right to left. Let's get into the line or to the cash flow here. As you can imagine, 99% of the tickets in cash on the over, 55% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the Jays. Now, let's just quickly, so I don't lose all confidence if TJ's on the other side, I just want to go over to the first 5 here, and I want to look at this one. So this was crazy line movement. When I moved on this, it followed up this huge move to the under. The under got to under 4 at minus 118 at 8:42 a.m. The over 4 at that point was plus 103, and then it got hammered, and that scared me very much. There's still been a 3-cent move to the under 4. So these are the 3 bets that I have coming into the show. I am on the first 3 under 2. First 3 under 2 at plus 113. I'm not going to take an under 2.5 at minus 135. It's just too expensive. I'm on the first 5 under 4 at minus 105. At that time, that was like 12 cents better at 365 than it was at Pinnacle, but of course it switched. And then on the Blue Jays, first 5 minus 105. A triple up spot for me, the most important spot of the day for me. Although I imagine that I have the exact same amount of money invested in the Oilers game on 2 bets as I do on 3 bets in this game. Take it away here, TJ. Jays, Tigers.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get from Gausman. I expect he shoves, but it's just been up and down, and I'm just, I don't necessarily believe in him as much as you do. I don't think he's the same pitcher he was in years past, but he's still very good, and it's Detroit who's kind of been up and down versus righty. So I want to take him out of this equation, and my bet's kind of pretty simple here. I don't do a ton of props, but I look at Flaherty, even if he gets hit, he's had an outing where he allowed 6 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. All those games except 1, he's gone at least 6 innings. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 out of 10 starts, he's gone 6 innings or more. So this one's simple to me. I can get an over 17.5. Well, it's gone up 18 cents recently, but over 17.5 outs for Flaherty at minus 132. Call it juicy. I think it's as much as you can get to a sure thing. Obviously, it's gambling, but I don't see any reason Detroit takes him out before 6 innings, and they'll just leave him out there. And I don't think Toronto's going to be able to get to him anyway. So, I toyed around with a Detroit first 5, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what to expect from Gausman, so I kept that off. But I am going to be on, or I already am on Flaherty over 17.5 outs.
And what was the juice? Sorry, 17.5 outs?
It's right now, the best I can find is minus 132. I'm curious to see what that is at Pinnacle. But that's on Heritage. It's minus 135 at BetOnline, 140 at DraftKings.
Okay, I will look here while we listen to. Well, that's a relief. I was so worried that you were going to be on the over. And Billy Friedrich has a question: why not Flaherty to get the win? Because you're worried about Gausman shoving.
Yeah, I'm worried about Gausman shoving, and
realm
this could be 1-1, 2-2 going into the 7th, and they starters come out, and I don't know the exact odds on Flaherty to get the win. He is plus 210 to get the win. So, the books think the same thing. I think it's a close, low-scoring game, and I'll just expect him to go long.
And Jack Flaherty over 17.5 outs at Pinnacle, minus 157.
Yep.
That's a good sign.
Yep.
That's a very good sign. Very good sign. Jose Bouquett, take it away.
Yeah, I obviously lean under in this game, but I was a part of everyone that was interested in the Tigers. I'm not going to move on the game. I don't want to go up against your triple up. That'd be annoying to say the least. But no action for me in this game. I expect Flaherty and Gausman to pitch well, just because both these lineups aren't very good here, honestly. So, gun to head, I take the Tigers here. The line movement is very interesting in this game, but ultimately I just stayed off.
So
I have
Mikey,
one more stat for you, Jimmy, if I
want
can
Mike,
for a second.
Mikey, are you betting on the Tigers? Please do and bet on Gausman over earned runs. Please put your money where your filthy mouth is. Take it away, TJ.
Yeah, just one more thing as to why I think Flaherty goes deep. His career, he's so much better against right-handed batters. 219 batting average against, only a 3.66 slugging, only an on-base percentage under 0.3. And how many righties are going to be in Toronto's lineup? Probably 7. Other than Kiermaier and Varsho. So that's another angle that I really like.
Here we go.
Shout out to Mikey Money's filthy mouth.
Cost you $10 if you want to park. Do it. But Jose, how much?
Yeah. I love Mikey. And I can't wait for Pubapalooza Quattro.
I'll finally be able to make it. The divorce is final.
Oh, it's gonna be great to have you down there, buddy. Oh man, it's just so much fun. So much fun. It's just I gotta figure out how to eat while I'm down there.
Well, TJ, I just want you to be a part of that, 4 a.m, Jimmy's just destroyed, throwing his computer up in the air kind of thing.
4 in the evening?
Well, no, apparently at 4 a.m. when you were stumbling home from the bar, going home and just throwing shit up in the air.
I have no
care in the world.
Any of that. I have no.
We're old, man. I'm 40 now. I might be just like Jimmy.
Oh yeah, but I'm at my. I rarely am anywhere at 4 a.m. I mean, that's just. I would say this was the first night, right? Wasn't that? That was the very first night we got there. I
think so. Yes.
Yeah. The bottle of Jameson going around. I was pumped up. I just can't believe Nasty Nate doesn't have a video of that. That is one of the Pubapalooza moments that will go down in history, and there's evidence. I couldn't believe it when he was telling me the next day. I was like, "What are you talking about? None of that makes any sense. Why would I do that? Why would I do that to my computer? Why would I do that to my?" It just made no sense.
Why would I do that? And fucking Spenny, why do I climb fences?
Yeah, good. Important questions. TJ, why don't you stick around with us if you have time, or do you have to go? Do we have a couple minutes? Okay, let's stick around for this final game here. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. We head into NBA next with Billy Brisbane. Billy Brisbane, 9.15% ROI on this show in NBA this season. Baltimore, and that's with a horrible start to the year. That's how hot he's been. Baltimore Orioles 29-18, 12-8 on the road. Chicago White Sox 15-35, 10-14 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Jason Work, we don't have the date yet, but it'll be in March. of 2025. God, 2025.
Jesus Christ.
Seems weird to say.
Grayson Rodriguez versus Mike Clevenger here. Let's get into the weather in Chi-Town. 73 Fahrenheit, 8.7 miles per hour left to right, and in between 8.7 and 8.1. Well, we still have Von Polo. That's the one thing you can trust about the group. We still have over 3K sitting there in the fund. That's one thing, Jeff is just such a, just a tried and true and honest and accountable. So that's just sitting there. So we do have that, and that's for Atlantic City. But it takes a lot more than just not more cash, but just planning and stuff like that. Aubrey Travis on the Orioles run line. Bo Jackson on Orioles money line. Nate Dogg or Baltimore money line. Rodriguez over K's. And Billy Friedrich says over or under 5,000 fans in attendance for this one. I would go.
I'd go under with that number.
Well, I would go to the game. I'll look it up. Grayson Rodriguez, 4-1, 3.15 ERA, 1.30 whip, 44 Ks, 15 walks, and 4 homers. His last start was a thing of beauty. Back-to-back incredible starts. 6 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks, 3 walks. I think he's the best pitcher on the Baltimore Orioles. Mike Clevenger, 0-2, 5.56 ERA, 1.85 whip. He's been atrocious. Coming off a 4-2 loss at the Yankees, 3 earned runs over 4 2/3. He wasn't that bad. The Orioles are not hitting righties, which is incredible how good they've been this year. 225, 687 OPS. They're just a complete ball club. Their batting average barely better than the White Sox versus righties, but they have more power. White Sox devoid of any power, 621 OPS. Orioles bullpen 3.47 ERA, 1.15 whip, being very good this year, but just converted 14 of 24 save opportunities. White Sox bullpen's getting better and better. Right when I thought they'd fall apart, they've been really good. Now a 3.82 ERA, 1.38 whip. Billy Friedrich says this may be a good first 5 under look. Maybe a good first 5 under look. Millsy says, woke up, dropped daughter at school, son at daycare, went to Dutch Bros, got coffee, now sitting at a barbershop, and y'all still on. Respect. And that's with just an 8-game MLB card. Or 7, 8? Yes. And we're not done yet, Millsy. We got NBA and Billy Brisbane, your co-star on the Locker Room podcast that we love so much here. That's now live on weeks that there's UFC or big fights. Now live, and we're going to be pumping that up heavy as we move forward. The Locker Room podcast, my 2 cents, Billy Brisbane, we got Millsy, and of course, Big Show. So Rocco says, I hate backing Clevenger, but looking at White Sox here, probably just early. And Billy Friedrich says Clevenger's historic numbers are very good versus O's roster, although Clevenger has been terrible. So let's take a look at the line history for Orioles. White Sox. We'll start with Jose and then get over to our guy TJ. This total has just moved to 4. It moved to 4. It was 4.5. Opened at 4.5 minus 120 to the under, and it's not a real 4. And it's a minus 123 to the over, plus 107 to the under. So it's not real. Let's get into the money line here for this one. On the money line, that's first 5. Damn it! Sorry, let me go to full game. On the full game money line, we have plus 199 on the White Sox. That's exactly where they opened. Now, they got up to plus 211. Another time they got up to plus 212. 9:30 this morning, they got plus 210. 12:09, they got plus 210. And the White Sox keep coming down. So they're right back from whence. And I like these bullpens. And it's going to be a sleepy atmosphere. Pinnacle has gone from 8.5 to 8. They moved to 8 at 9:45 this morning. Taking a look at the cash flow here in this one, we have 85% of tickets, 85% cash on the over, 88% of tickets, 96% cash on the Baltimore Orioles. Jose Bouquett, your plan of action.
Oh God, I'm just reading your antics, Jimmy. Your antics that you just don't remember.
Yeah,
I can just picture it now, just cackling, laughing, throwing it up in the air, just falling backwards.
my whole thing is smashed. I don't know how it works.
That was a shocking upset of the weekend right there.
I'm only embarrassed when my children ask how it happened, and I said, my computer fell off a desk.
Yes, it's good cover right there. First 5 under here for me. I think I'm gonna move on it. The White Sox, I don't expect to contribute much, and I think Clevenger, if anyone's going to be motivated, not afraid, and willing to go against these Orioles in this White Sox rotation, I'd probably say it's him or Eric Fetty, obviously. The lines moved towards the White Sox pretty dramatically, actually, which I thought was pretty surprising. I mean, obviously, 88% of the bets, 96% of the money on the Orioles. Excuse me. And let me refresh my page real quick because I saw this open up at minus like 212, and now I'm seeing 220. I know it's actually 220. Just kidding. I was looking at first five then, I guess. But yeah, first five under 4.5. I'm getting a minus 125. It's not my favorite thing ever. Honestly, I considered just taking a 4 at even money, really, but I'm just going to take that and rock and roll with it. Bovada does have a 4 at even money right now.
Why do you prefer the first 5 from the full game?
Just so I don't trust the White Sox and the Orioles. Bats, I think, can come alive at some point, coming off of getting swept for the first time in God knows how long with Adley, et cetera, et cetera. So I just be worried about the Sox pen, honestly.
I like what,
and it's not like the Orioles pen's good either.
I like what I've seen from in the sleepy game. I'm certainly leaning towards the full game under. TJ, take it away.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, right now you can get it under 4.5 still at bookmaker for minus 115. I'm looking at it right now. So that's probably your best line there. I don't know what to do with this game. I mean, they gotta be hyping each other up. Like, hey guys, wake up! You know, we're not playing our best baseball. They're a great baseball team. You know, the Yankees are now 3 games up on them. I know it's early in the season to be looking at that, but this is still a young team that had a great year last year, and they're expected to I expect them to make a deep run. They just got swept. You know, this is a very, very dangerous spot for the White Sox, I think, because I could see Baltimore just taking out their anger here. They're not a bad team versus right-handed pitching. I mean, they are recently, but that's not going to stick all season. You know, it's like you've been talking about with Toronto bullpen. I know what the numbers are. They're not going to be like that at the end of the season. So when does it turn around? After a sweep is a hell of a motivator. Change cities, play against a crap team. You know, maybe a Baltimore minus 1.5, but that's pretty juicy. I wouldn't give it out on the show. I do bet those a lot. I'm kind of like Loshak. You know, a minus 170 doesn't keep me off if it's good money, but probably not a minus 1.5. I might look at Baltimore team totals over. I don't know. I don't hate the under first 5, under full game, but I just could see Baltimore turning it on here, so it's keeping me off.
God, I'm interested in this under all of a sudden. Can we trust Clevenger?
And I trust Rodriguez here to push.
Very much.
You know, he's great.
I'm officially on at 4.5 minus 125. Better lines out there, obviously, but that's just what I bet.
And Clevenger has really good numbers against this group.
And by the way, Mr. Heat said that I believe there's money on the White Sox plus 1.5, but I wouldn't trust the Sox with Jose's left nut. So this is my left nut play of the day.
Interesting. Jose on the first 5, and you got minus 125 on that, Jose?
Yeah, unfortunately. Like I said, I kind of thought about taking 4 even money and signing on to Bovada to try to do that, but no way. I'll just take my 4.5 minus 125 and whatever.
You know what's really interesting for you guys is under and makes me like it more is Rodriguez to get the win is about minus 105 at most places for a minus 230 favorite. You know, that should tell us something that this thing might be low scoring early on.
Yeah, I've become
because he should be like minus 130.
I've become very interested in this under. Mikey Money says a bad spot for Grayson Rodriguez. Cleveland rotation, Grayson Rodriguez, a rotation changed up to give him the extra days of rest as well. And Jason Work says the under 4.5 at plus 110 at Bet Online. It just can't be. It can't. Can you go on to Bet Online, Jose? I'm
on there right now.
Okay.
I'll look for you.
It just can't be plus 1. There's just no way that there's a.
No, it's under 4 minus. It's under 4 minus 107.
Under 4 at minus 107. Oh right my God! Under 4 at minus 107.
Yep. Oh shoot! Sorry, looking at the wrong game. Under 4.5 minus 125.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no, he's looking at Baltimore runs. Okay, thank you. Team total runs. Okay. And Benjamin Mills took the other side. He took the first 5 over 4.5 at plus 105. So he's going to be on the other side of us, which, look, being on the other side of Jose and I, although I haven't pressed the button yet, I do expect to be on it. And it could even be a double up late night spot for me. It's going to take a little bit more time. All right, that is MLB. We got Billy Brisbane and his 9.15% ROI waiting in the wings to talk NBA. So let's review all action. So stick with us here for a second, TJ, as we do the review here. And we have here Sharpie's got the Skeens over 16.5 outs, over 7.5 Ks. Justin
He's
McKelvey
rolling right now, by the way. Yeah, I don't know how many strikeouts he has, but he's rolling fine. Outswise.
Pirates over 4.5 team total for Justin McKelvey, who's there live at the game. Shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey.
God, that must be so fun. Fuck you, Justin. I'm jealous, man.
Oh, it's such a beautiful ballpark.
And by the way, also another fuck you because I'm jealous. Bo Jackson. That's so sick. Now he's going to have 3 season tickets. That's awesome. Shout out to Bo.
That's dope. I'd like to get to a game with Bo for sure. And we're going to do the get that set up here with the Woodbine Day. TJ is Zach Wheeler for the win at minus 115. Jose's on the over 9.5 at even money in Padres Reds. And that is starting right this very second.
Yeah, the line moved towards the Reds as well, so they became like minus 110 favorites there at the end.
Cubs first 5. I'm going to be on Cubs first 5 here. TJ's on the over 8 in Colorado, Oakland. TJ's on Flaherty over 17.5 outs at minus 132. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 Baltimore, Chicago. I'll be joining him on that one. I've tripled up on the Jays game. I'm on the first 3 under 2 at plus 113. I'm on the first 5 under 4 at minus 105. Or minus 105, I think it's. What was it again? Sorry, let me just see. The minus 105 is on my Jays first 5. Oh, no, they're both minus 105. Okay, they're both minus 105. So I like that. Saturated says, go Cubbies, let's get them home for us. And Josh Lauer says, Pirates games are boring as hell. Look, you get a beer in my hand. I'll make a single A game. I'll make rookie ball a lot of fun.
Yeah, put me in an environment with baseball, a beer, and a hot dog. I'm set. I'm set.
Yeah,
and maybe a net in front of
place.
me so I don't have to be scared. I don't know.
If that's not your happy place, it's not for you. Plus, that stadium's beautiful. I love it there.
I remember just before we go. Oh yeah, I was there in the wintertime and I walked around it. But in a book I read, Trading Bases, which was such a phenomenal book on baseball, about a Wall Street guy who gets hit by an ambulance and so he's sitting. He can't do anything for 8 months, and he puts together a model for baseball games. It's a phenomenal read. He talked about how baseball's his love of his life, and he's got these 2 daughters. And he was trying to teach them about how much he loves baseball, whatever. And he talked about the first time they walked into a baseball stadium. They walk in, they got nice seats. They get over that spot where you're walking down onto the concourse or the seats for above the field, and his daughter went, Daddy, it's so green, and he just started sobbing. Sobbing. It's so funny. The love of baseball.
I need to read that book.
Oh God, is it great? Trading Bases, it's phenomenal. That's when I put together my hedge fund. Now, nothing nearly as complicated as what he's doing, but I put together a hedge fund. That was the year for the Seahawks and the 49ers. That was the year the Seahawks 49ers met in the conference final. It was the perfect hedge fund I could have possibly, but I was just too conservative in it, because I brought my family and a bunch of friends into it. And I was just too conservative because I'd never done anything like it. It worked out. It would have been, if I had taken more risk, it would have been hugely successful. It still was successful. And I wrote every weekly updates. I sent an email to everybody as Aaron Hernandez. And I gave the jail updates every week, the jail updates and what's going on with our hedge fund. It was really, really fun.
Aaron Hernandez jokes are back, by the way. Shout out to Aaron Hernandez.
Oh yeah, as they
on the roast when Tom Brady. Did you hear the Aaron Hernandez joke?
I haven't watched the roast yet because I'm so stressed out and I'm capping nonstop. And I'm like, I keep like my wife wants to watch it. I'm like, look, we can't watch it until I'm in a good headspace because I can't. I'm so stressed out. I'm capping. I'm so angry. Let me just wait till I can smile here. So as soon as I start winning, we'll watch it. But
yeah, as a Patriots hater, it was a good time.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to watch it. TJ, thank you for rocking with us here. You're going to see a lot more of TJ as the weeks, as we get into full baseball. But please go over to X and follow our guy, TJ. Here, I'll put his handle into the chat. TJ, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Yeah, I got last words for Jose. Put my horse in the race today. I'm pretty sure it's not in there because it never makes it. I never even see him. So I need
Yeah.
my horse to be put in the race today.
I blame Jose as well. I blame
Done.
Jose.
Yeah, so Jose.
Confirm in there.
All right. I love it.
By the way, Jimmy, I have a question. Are we doing WNBA first?
No, we will close the show with the WNBA.
Because I know Billy obviously assumed WNBA. I'm just trying to follow his lead right now. 2-1, up 9/10 of a unit. Whatever. We cleaned up yesterday. Seattle Storm first half, not a big deal. We have a play again. Tweeted out earlier this morning. So at the end of the end of the NBA segment, Billy and I will break that shit up. I can't wait.
I love it. I love it. And Jose will rejoin us after we break down NBA. Joey, let's do NBA after the show. That was well done. 7-game winning streak has just crashed and burnt in these first 2 games of the conference finals. So we've brought in a ringer. And when I give you his numbers, you're like, okay, they're just okay numbers. Sure. He's 19 wins and 14 losses. He has 57.6% plus 3.02 units, an ROI plus 9.15%, average line plus 102, a plus money average line, which is always enjoyable if you are tailing action. And you're like, okay, well, those are just good numbers. But you need to know here that this is a capper that opened up with us 1-9. 1-9. So since then, our guy Billy Brisbane is 18-5. 18-5 on our show. Please welcome from South Jersey, here to put money in our pockets, our guy Billy Brisbane to the telecast. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
Doing good, man. I hate to see all the WNBA hatred in the comment section, man. I mean, shit, ask the MLB. They should take a fucking note from the WNBA. Got fucking 4 times the views of their draft and more social media engagements over the last month than the MLB. So tell the MLB to suck a dick. Do something that's more interesting than 9 innings of baseball.
Wow. All right. Firing back at the hate for WNBA. And we have a new nickname. Brismac Biombo for Brizzy. I love it, Joe. Excellent work. That is copied and pasted. Brismac Biombo, too, could work as well. Brismac Biombo from Joey Yurkovich. All right, Billy, let's get to...
Shouts to my boy Jake Flanagan in the chat. Ventnor, New Jersey, probably chilling out there by the beach right now. I can't imagine what the weather's like down there in Ventnor.
Probably nice, man. Probably nice. And now we know that Doug caps well hard, which is a very interesting situation for Doug. But it goes away as soon as we start talking WNBA. And Tori Coker respecting WNBA says WNBA is the shit. Okay, let's get to work here in NBA. And God, I was feeling good about myself before these last 2 basketball games. Brizzy, let's get to work. Thursday, May 23rd, this evening, we have the East Finals Game 2. LJ from H-Town has given us his best bet. Pacers Boston first half over 115.5. BJ here on the Celtics. And Dutch was on the Celtics first half and full game in game 1 and flipped. So Dutch has moved on the Pacers +9, and he's on the over 224.5. Anybody watching game 1 would do that immediately. But I just don't feel like that's how this works. And I've been trying to make sense of it all. And I respect that Dutch flips. You know, Dutch is about making money. And he's like, okay, I was wrong. That this is way too big of a spread. And the pace of play was shocking. There was a capper in the chat, and I didn't stop the show to, lay into him, but said, I don't think that pace was fast. Look, I don't care what anybody thinks. It was 8 possessions faster than they played all playoffs long. So you can think whatever you want. I'm just telling you, statistically, they played at 101.43 possessions a game. And in the playoffs, they're playing at 93 possessions a game. So it was fast. Now, the Pacers shot the ball beautifully. And can that stop in this game? They shot the ball beautifully after having the best shooting performance in the playoff shooting performance in the history of NBA. I mean, I bet against that happening. And when it was 12-0, I was like, see? And that was the last time I said see. For the rest of the time, I looked like an asshole. So let's roll here. And Sharon's going to move on to under full game. I mean, and Billy Brisbane said, books are daring you to take the full game over in this game. My dude says, I'm on the Pacers all day. Defense don't mean shit in NBA no more. Pacers can score. And Saturated says, this game 2 for the Celtics is not the same as the previous 2 series. That is very, very important.
No.
That is so important. Such an important angle that has not been talked about. They've fumbled the bag in games 2 when they were huge favorites after smacking in game 1. So that's a very interesting and important note. Fabiano says, just take the Celtics on the spread. It's the spot. So there's a lot more Celtics love than I was expecting to see here. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, and then roll in X's and O's and hear how Brizzy is getting paid. In the last time Brizzy joined us, now that we're going back May 9th was when Brizzy was with us, and it's already 2-0 Padres. God damn it. I knew Frankie Montas phrasing. Gonna get fucking touched. God damn it. Stay calm and don't lose your shit. Okay, here we go. We have the Celtics right now at minus 8.5 with no VIG. Oh, yeah, with no VIG, which means that an 8 is coming. An 8 is coming. On the total, we have it sitting at 224.5 juice to the over. This opened up at 224.5, and sharps do this. They think it's too high and they hammer it down, and then the public comes in and brings it back up. I thought it was going to go higher than 224.5, and Bet Online is leading the way in that department. They have moved it to 225. Now, unlike Pinnacle that started moving it to the under as soon as it became available, Bet Online's left it at 224.5, and they moved it to 225 at 12:36 p.m. less than an hour ago. And then since then, there's been a 5-cent move to the under. But we have a 225 here. Mikey Money says playoff teams losing in overtime and over in the dog roll have gone 3-1 straight up against the spread in the next game. And BJ says best bet Friday, Minnesota Timberwolves money line, got it last night. Yes, I get that. I definitely get that. I was thinking moving on them early, but we are going to talk about that next. Von Polo says everybody's taking Indiana because they heard the commentators on TV say Boston has lost every game too so far. All the public are on Indiana, so give me Boston every way, every quarter. See, I thought that same way. I just didn't have the balls to pull the trigger, and maybe we will after we hear Brizzy's breakdown. From a cash flow perspective, 74% of tickets and 68% of cash are on the Indiana Pacers. Now, remember yesterday I said I'm going to copy and paste what it is. 24 hours ago. So 24 hours ago, we had 73% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Indiana Pacers. There's actually money coming in on the Celtics now, and the line's moving towards the Pacers. So that's a surprise. So I thought it would be over 80% on tickets and cash on the Pacers. That's not the case. Okay. So then let's move over to the total. This total right now has 93% of tickets and 96% of cash on the over. Yesterday, it had 94% of tickets and 95% of cash on the over. Mikey Money says Missoula, after an overtime and a win in the game, is in game 2, 1-2, getting smoked by 19.5 points. Joe Yurif says Indiana 26-13 against the spread after a loss. So we talked all about this spot yesterday. It's on our homepage here, and we want to hear Brizzy. But Drew played spectacular. Tatum, 36, 12, and 4, added 3 steals, stepped up heavy in the third. And the Pacers turned the ball over 21 times. They turned the ball over twice with a 3-point lead in the final 30 seconds. Tyrese has been beating himself up when he really played a very good game up until that point. I could not believe how fast they were playing, and it surprised the Celtics too. Now, can they develop a defense around it? The Celtics were terrible from 3 until late, and they can change that quickly. Here we go. Billy Brisbane, how are you getting paid in game 2, Indiana, Boston?
Yeah, I would say one of the hardest things to cap in sports betting is when two teams play against each other for within 48 hours, and it's the same exact line as the first game. So it's like, really, what edge do we really have? I feel like the ball's kind of back in the bookies' court for this series. The bookies kind of seem to have the edge over the public in this one. But the easiest game, in my opinion, to win in the series is the road team catching the home team in game one in a sleepy spot. We kind of saw that last night with the Mavericks, and we've seen that in other series in the past. But the Pacers shooting in game 7 versus New York carried right over to this series. They shot lights out in game 1. That was the biggest thing I noticed from watching the game. There aren't a lot of adjustments, I feel like, that the Pacers are going to make going into game 1. I thought they should have won game 1. Everyone else thinks they should have won game 1. And I think that's going to be the problem for them here in game 2. Boston 9-4 straight up, 7-6 ATS. In the playoffs under Joe Mazzulla following an ATS loss. Not saying like that's like a crazy stat or anything. 16-4 ATS after they win a game outright, 15-4 when they win the game as a favorite. They dropped both of games 2 in previous series. I think Boston's going to come out with a nice little defensive intensity that should give them the edge. But we run into the sports betting problem where that could just be a shade too high of a double-digit number, damn near. I mean, with the line at -9, you kind of want Boston to be up by like 15 points for a majority of the game there. And the way Mazzulla has been playing into his rotations with the like of Cornette, Pritchard, and less minutes for Hauser, their bench unit isn't as deep as the Indiana combo of McConnell, Toppin, and Jackson. So I hard lean on the Celtics -8.5. But I mean, is there really any money in the business of sports gambling betting -8.5? I don't know, man. I'm still on the edge about it. But digging into my tracking history, it's one thing to track bets, but it's another thing to notice trends. In these double-digit games, I'm really smashing in the player prop section. So I went back to the well here, cashed Jaylen Brown in game 1. So we're going to go game 2 here. Derek White over 15.5 points, -125. White gets a solid matchup versus Indy, who's allowed the most points in the playoffs this season. He missed that line 15.5 by a point in game 1, scoring 15 points on 13 field goal attempts. But it's the field goal attempts that's really caught my attention here. He's averaging 17.9 points per game on 13.4 field goal attempts per game. When he's had 14 plus field goal attempts, he's gone over 10 out of his 10 last games, averaging 22.1 points per game, over an 8 out of his last 10 games with 12 plus field goals, averaging 20 points per game. So I think Drew Holiday's production comes down a little bit, and Derek White's goes up a little bit in reverse. I like the player prop market for this one. Derek White over 15.5 points. I would advise anyone that's throwing some money at this game, I would attack the player prop market. I think there's the edge to be had from the public is the player prop market versus betting a big favorite line. Because I feel like it's one of those ones where I would have to bet Celtics -8.5. But if I'm betting the Celtics -8.5, why not do the extra due diligence of the hour and a half to 2 hours to see what players are going to do good if the Celtics win this game by margin?
Oh, God, I want to hammer the Celtics so badly. I want to hammer them so badly, and God, it's a sick feeling when you go into the conference finals with all this confidence, winning 7 straight, and then just get crushed in the first 2 games.
I think you got to do it because, I mean, I don't think the spots. I think if the Pacers win a game in this series, it's probably game 3 or 4, and I feel like as a sports bettor, you make some money here on this game 2 here, and then you bet the Pacers at plus money at home back-to-back games. If you lose the first one, you double down on the second one.
God, I want it so badly. Saturate says Celtics first half feels better than line 10 to me. Yeah, I think that first quarter, first half is the.
I think there's a huge problem, though, because that second quarter, the bench units are going to come in. And we saw in game 1, there's a huge edge for the Pacers bench unit over the Celtics bench unit. So you kind of want the full game spread in the verse of you're kind of betting on the starters to finish the job rather than betting on a bunch of bench players to put in points in the beginning of the second quarter. I feel like the Celtics had a big bench edge in the previous series, but they don't have it in this one. They're going to need their studs to play good basketball.
And I'll be saying the outlier here, Celtics always lose game 2. It's such a different situation. I love it. After catching TJ McConnell for the Pacers last time he was here, over, I think it was a 16.5 PRA, something like that. Derek White over 15.5 points for our guy Brizzy. Brizzy, I need to ask you this. $500 I put in your hands. I say go bet the total and bring me back 920. You know, what's your bet? Over or under?
I would have to go specifically team total. If you
I'm
think
no. I want full game
over
total.
under, just over under.
Yeah.
I'm betting the under. I'm not gonna lie. 225. I feel like that's too high. I think if the Celtics win by margin tonight, the game should go under. I don't think
My
any
dude
should shoot as good.
My dude says Al Horford's too old to start saying. They were picking on Al Horford. What defense can you what can Missoula do? Throw out Cornette? I mean, what are you
gonna do?
What can you do? What can they do? They were picking on Horford. And we know Horford's got a ton of character. There's no disrespect to Horford, but what can the Celtics do? Because it was clear what the Pacers were doing. Is there anything they can do?
I think the Celtics are going to take a page out of the Knicks series, and the Knicks guards were outscoring. The games that the Knicks won, they were significantly outscoring the Pacers guards. I think we're going to see the combo of like Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and I hate to say this, but Peyton Pritchard really put in work tonight.
Astute Chaos, first quarter over 57.5, first half over 115.5. Troy Torrance says Celtics going to play zone tonight. God.
Troy had that zone call last year with the Heat. Remember the Heat and the Nuggets on the live stream? He said the Heat are about to go zone in this game. That shit's going under. I hear you, Mike. 0-3 after a playoff win in a non-cover. I just don't think that the Pacers are going to shoot as good as they've done in the last 2 games. And this seems like a spot where everybody and their mom is going to the window with the Pacers +9. What could go wrong? They're giving me 9 points after they almost should have won game 1. You know what happens in those games? This game ends up being a blowout and everybody has the game off by halftime.
You know, if I do, if I triple up on the Celtics, because that makes me a little more comfortable than picking and choosing one spot, really, honestly. Then I'm going to, because I got to pick up my mom at the airport and we're going to go watch the game. I got to drop the car off because the drinks are going to be flowing if it's not going in my direction. You know what?
I would go first quarter full game and skip on that first half.
You know, that does sound right with the bench situation. Now, again, we wait. We wait. The line is moving towards the Pacers. How far is it going to move? So, you know, we wait. But that 3 first quarter could turn into a 2.5. It's already juiced now to the Pacers.
I got 2.5 on FanDuel -120.
Perfect. Stuka says Boston has to play zone, but the ball movement and cutting for the Pacers is the difference maker. Chase says Celtics have all the talent in the world. My only question is, do they have a backbone? Well, it's a good question, Chase. And if you've judged them by their playoff performances over the last few years, you would say no. Now, is this a different Jason Tatum? I don't
think Jason Tatum. I think it's Jaylen Brown. That's the reason why I bet the point prop in game 1 over the last 9 matchups versus the Pacers. He's averaging damn near 30 points per game. He's gone over his point prop 9 out of his last 10 games, the one miss being a blowout game where he only played 25 minutes. And we saw in the last game, clearly, they don't have anything to do. I don't know what they're going to switch. They're going to have to put somebody on Jaylen Brown because he's just been firing off on them. Hit that almost game-winning shot that sent it into overtime in game 1 and then kind of sealed the deal in the OT. I hate to say it, the kid might not be able to dribble with his left hand, but he's just a pacer killer right now. They keep on putting Naismith on Tatum, and it's Jaylen Brown and Derek White that are going off against him.
And before we move on to the next game, shout out to our guy Markel. Met up with razor sharp picks at Delaware Racetrack. Nothing makes me happier when our guys, our squad, the guys we cap with all day, get a chance to meet up in person at gambling establishments across North America. It means a ton. So respect, man. Okay, let's move on to tomorrow night's West Finals. Game 2, Dallas Mavericks at Minnesota Timberwolves, Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The pace was faster than I expected because Kyrie Irving knew you can neutralize Ant Edwards' offense if he's exhausted. And Kyrie was sprinting all over the floor. Brilliant game plan by Kyrie. 95.5 possessions a game. Dallas won the game despite shooting 24% from three. That has to scare. That has to scare the Minnesota Timberwolves. What else has to scare the Minnesota Timberwolves was that Dallas had a 62-38 advantage in points in the paint. I mean, so here you have Dallas shooting 6 for 25 from three. They win the game. You have Dallas dominating a paint that has Rudy Gobert in it. Now, how do the Wolves answer? Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Friday night action. We know where we all be on Friday night, and that's watching this basketball game. All for what I need the Panthers, you guys know, to win the conference and then with the cup with my futures action. But I wanted to watch this game more than I wanted to watch Panthers Rangers. I was just so interested in what was going to happen, which was shocking. I was just so interested. This total is at 207, opened up at 207.5. It moved to 207 this morning at 9:42 a.m. So we have a half point move to the under. From a point spread situation, we have Minnesota -5 at -111. They opened up -5 at -105, and the first move was towards the Mavericks. Wolves money has been coming in. Getting to the cash flow here for this one. We have 4,372 tickets in, despite being 32 hours away from game time. 95% of tickets, 98% cash on the over. A shout out to Ski Profit and Bobano, who are on the over. Dutch and I were on the under, and Bobano and Ski got that cash. Now, I did live bet the under 223.5. That was an easy casher. Although that line was going heavy against us. Everybody was betting the over at halftime. That was at halftime. 57% of the tickets, 61% of the cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Drewski says Rudy Gobert is a non-factor in this series. Joe Yurkovich says second half's going way down. I imagine that will be the whole game this time. Saturated says Western Conference Finals is uncharted territory for the Wolves. Luka and Kyrie have been there. Kyrie, the sense of calm he brings this Timberwolves team. Now we all think about, what if they had just signed Jalen Brunson? But Kyrie gives them a sense of calm and does a nice job with it. So let's roll. For the first time, Jason Kidd and the Dallas Mavericks won the first game of a playoff series. It's unbelievable the success they've had in the playoffs, despite never winning game ones. Luka, when push came to shove, was silky smooth, man. 15 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter. Kyrie dominates the first half. Luka dominates the fourth quarter. End result, Mavericks win. PJ Washington, 13 points and 7 boards. And Lively and Gafford, 20 rebounds, 4 offensive boards each, and 9 of 13 from the field. We talked about the paint advantage. What is the score if Jaden McDaniels doesn't deliver his third straight 20-plus point game? Jaden McDaniels was excellent. Ant Edwards was exhausted. scoreless in the third quarter. Now he still does a ton of things on the floor, so he can not succeed offensively, and still 11 boards, 8 assists, and now that's 2 games in a row where Ant has not delivered. When are we going to see that 45-point breakthrough, that 50-point breakthrough? Is it here in game 2? Cat did not look very good. 6 of 20 from the floor, 16 points. Naz Reid was so good. 15 points, 6th in the NBA in 3-point percentage this year. The Wolves, when they beat the Nuggets, held the Nuggets to an average of 85 points per game. This is a completely different animal here with the Dallas Mavericks. Are they capable of slowing this team down with Kyrie sprinting all over the floor and Luka showing that he's just one of a kind? Take it away, Billy Brisbane. Game 2, Dallas Mavericks, Minnesota Timberwolves. And for those of you watching here after we've cut this video up, our guy Billy Brisbane is 18-5 over his last 23 bets here on Betting with the Bag. Brizzy, take it away.
Yeah, this is just one of those games where what you think happens, you should probably just bet the future market. Granted, nobody wants a ticket in their book for over a week, but I think Minnesota wins game 2. And with that being said, if I'm betting them game 2 minus 4.5, 5.5, at that point, I feel like the future markets are more valuable. The series is set at the series to go over 5.5 games at minus 210, but the series spread has now flipped where Minnesota's plus 1.5 at minus 114. So you basically need this to go 6 games for you to cash that ticket. And if they go 6 games, a lot of that will be you have to win tomorrow night if this series goes past 5.5 games, like the bookies have it projected. I mean, why even post a series price tag at 5.5 games at minus 210? That tells you everything you need to know. If you think Dallas is going to win the game, the Dallas future markets are ridiculous right now. Dallas to sweep the Timberwolves is plus 550. For them to go 4-1 in this series is plus 500. And the most likely outcome, 4-2, is plus 330. So my play here would be the Timberwolves plus 1.5 on the series at minus 114.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Timberwolves plus 1.5. What was the line?
Minus 114 at FanDuel on the series. Wow. Like it literally flipped. They were minus 1.5. Now they're plus 1.5.
Yeah.
If you look at the Dallas markets, I mean, them to win 4-2 in this series is plus 330. Minnesota to win in 7 games is plus 380. So those are the 2 most likely results. The series price tag for over under now is set at 5.5 at minus 210. And I think a lot of that is reliant on them winning tomorrow night. So if I taking all these bets, I'm going to have to take a small chunk on this minus 5 here for Minnesota. One of the player props that kind of stand out to me that are with the eye market here, haven't made it official, but Naz Reid is definitely going to have to play more minutes in this series. Just in general, they're going to need more bench production and more just people that can score. If Ant isn't going to have 25 points, you don't want Karl-Anthony Towns shooting the ball as many times as he did last night, because while he was efficient in the first half, he started clanking late in that game. And I think the Wolves are going to have to make some adjustments, and I think the adjustments is playing more Naz Reid minutes. His point prop is already set at 10.5 at minus 120 for the over. So we haven't even reached the day of the game, and that probably moves up more.
Wow, I like this a lot. I love the series plus 1.5 bet. I think I'd be comfortable opening up a little bit, betting a little more than a unit on that. I do think this series is tight. And then this got to be the Wolves here. And again, like Brizzy said about the last series, if you don't want to do the triple up, the first quarter full game is right in the comfort zone here with a much bigger bet on the series plus 1.5. And Dallas has proven that home court isn't the scariest place to play. You can go into Dallas and beat them. Dallas is a really good basketball team. There's no negativity towards them, but you can go into Dallas and you can win a basketball game. Wow. I like this. I'm with you guys. I think it's a Wolves smash spot. Mikey Money agreeing with it. BJ agreeing with it. A lot of cappers in the chat agreeing with it. And Bo Jackson is careful with the T-Wolves money line in game 2. Well, I don't. It's just too much vig on those things. They have to win and win by over 5 points. And then I wonder if it's because my instinct going into this was first quarter, first half, and Mikey Money catching the ribeye play of the day, Arise RBI plus 200. My instinct going into this was to take the Wolves first quarter, first half, was that they were going to throw that first punch. Brizzy, if I only gave you 2 bets of first quarter, first half, or full game, you could only bet 2 of them on the Timberwolves, and you had to bet 2 of them. Which ones would they be?
I would take full game first quarter. Shout outs to Tone Miggs. He was in the chat last night and he kind of pointed something out. Why I do think this game goes under. A lot of these games do go over in the first quarter. I mean, shit, dude. The fucking Mavericks team total was 25.5 points last night. And they went way over the total and still lost the first quarter damn near. I think it was right on the number, depending on what number you got. So I think if Minnesota wins the first quarter, they're going to have to go over 27.5 first quarter points.
And a grand slam by the Pirates for you Pirate backers.
Thank you. Fucking Jesus.
I like it. I like it a lot. And I really like that series plus 1.5 on the total.
Yeah, it's just waiting on the ticket in your bank account or on your book for over a week. It's just like, man, I could do a lot of fucking things with the minus 114 out there in the world to have to wait on this bet for a week. But I think that is the right bet. Like, we're not here to make quick cash. We're here to, sometimes you got to slow roast it and you got to wait a little bit. And if you're going to bet the Timberwolves in game 2, you have to take the series price tag at plus 1.5.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think
you could still cash it.
Oh, yeah.
Lose game 6 for all the fuck I care. As long as the ticket cashes.
Oh, I like that bet a lot. I love it a lot. Great job, Billy, as always. Billy cashing 18 of his last 23 bets here on Betting with the Bag, leading by example. Brizzy. That is our breakdown for NBA. We're going to move into WNBA action, Brizzy, and take us home because money is money. And here is Jose pumped up. Look at him. So
let's go. Come on. Jump on board, Jimmy. Me, Mikey Money, Billy Brisbane, the head of the wagon of the WNBA betting movement. God damn it.
Well, look, we've been hammering WNBA for years, but I have not capped it this year, and I didn't cap it last year. That was my problem because I capped it 2 years ago and 3 years ago. But you guys lead the way. Brizzy, you got action for tonight.
Games and tomorrow. 12 o'clock at Wednesday afternoon. And Jim's looking at the WNBA commissioner slate like, shit, there is 4 games here.
But it's all good, Brizzy. Take it away. And Bo Jackson loves seeing Jose excited. Yeah, women shooty hoops.
No, this is I told you guys. That's the NBA. Who wants to bet the No Betting Association? This is the Why Not Betting Association. Come on.
Everyone's shitting on the WNBA product. Bro, I didn't watch Virginia games where they won the game and I had money on them and they only scored fucking 48 points. How many college basketball teams did we watch this year that went 8 to 9 minutes of fucking no scoring, dude? This had to be one of the most ridiculous years I can remember in years past of scoring droughts of teams. It's just crazy. So at that point, if I'm watching fucking Patriot League basketball, I feel like I should be betting the WNBA with big bets. And that's what we're doing here on this show today. We got 2 big bets, 2 of my biggest bets of the year so far in the WNBA.
I'm excited. I have a bet in as well, Billy. So I'd love to hear what you're starting off with.
We're going to start off
just before you start off and get rolling, and I'll be listening here. I got to get my Cubs first 5 action in. Do you know that the difference is 15 cents, Jose, from first 5 and full game? First 5 is minus 130 for the Cubs at 365. Minus 130. Full game's minus 115. It's going to make it. I'm going to have to put it in a pinnacle. So I'm going to be listening, and I'm going to get my action in, but you guys take it away.
Yeah, we got the Chicago Sky. They're taking a trip down to the New York Liberty. New York Liberty 4-0 this season. Chicago Sky split 1-1 in those first 2 games. They played back-to-back, same exact team. This line opened up at 17, and we're seeing a little bit of buyback here for the Chicago Sky. This line somewhere you can get the best number on 15.5 at Caesars for the Liberty, but the best line for the Sky 16.5 at BetMGM. The total set at 166.5. I didn't have too much on this one. This is if there's one game that I would fucking pass on tonight, it would be this one. Is this too many points? I don't know. It could be, but I kind of lean towards the Sky. But then I remember the WNBA season is very unique compared to other leagues because the draft, the way that the NCAA Women's Championship ends, then the draft and preseason, regular season, it's a very quick turnaround. It's like a 2.5 week turnaround. And these two teams played each other in the first game of the preseason on May 7th, and the Liberty beat them 101-53. That's all. 50 points is a lot of wiggle room. So I'm going to have to lean towards the Liberty. One player prop that kind of stood out for me in this one when I was doing some daily fantasy projections was Angel Reese under 7.5 rebounds. Bad rebounding matchup for her tonight, taking on the New York's front court size and depth. And her number seems to be a little bit inflated after her first 2 games of the season against the Dallas Wings.
Jose, you want to handle the hosting here? I'm getting my action.
Okay, yeah. I was very close to moving on the Chicago Sky actually as well. I was very close to them. They were almost my play today, but I didn't. Billy, so what was your action again? Sorry, I had Molly the dog fucking yelling at my deliveries. You were just passing?
Yeah, we're just passing. We're just giving a nice little synopsis.
Well, beautiful.
These are 2 teams that we're going to have to be betting on throughout the year. I mean, the Liberty are in every primetime game, and the Sky are kind of one of those bad teams that end up getting in the close lines against other bad teams. So,
no, Angel Reese, come on, right?
That's
why we're watching. That's why we're watching the Chicago Sky. And shout out to Cardoso as well. All right, Billy, go ahead. Roll into game 2 for yourself.
Yeah, game 2 is the Minnesota Lynx versus the Connecticut Sun, a playoff rematch from.
Come on, Billy. Join me on the right side, Billy. Come on.
It's really hard to gauge both these teams' ceiling so far early on in the season. The Lynx started off their season with a win against the Mystic, who might be the worst team in the league, and then back-to-back wins versus Seattle. Neke didn't play in one of them. The first one was by double digits, and the second one was a double OT win where they kind of got lucky to even go into overtime. The Lynx, though, they've been kind of on the lower end, middle of the pack type of WNBA team, but their offensive play seems to be legit this year. In this matchup versus the Sun, there aren't a lot of girls in the WNBA that can really deal with the front court length of couple Bonner and Thomas and Jones playing at the center position, but they're usually winning games by imposing their physical strength and attacking the paint and controlling the tempo, playing good defense. But I don't think they're going to have the same luxury in this one against Napisha Collier, who's one of the best bigs in the WNBA, and their all-season acquisition of Elena Smith coming over from Chicago, stepping in at the power forward position. She's been exceeding expectations so far this year. I'm kind of leaning towards the Lynx here in this spot, plus the points, but the shallowness of the Suns' backcourt, I think it's just going to come back to haunt them. And specifically in this one, the Janae Carrington, the interesting thing, everybody was talking about Caitlin fucking Clark against the Fever versus Sun. But the real storyline, this is like a reality TV show. Janae Carrington, her ex-girlfriend is Smith on the Fever. They're getting to the push and shove and fresh off the divorce. And the Janae Carrington damn near played probably her best basketball I've ever seen her play in those 2 games against Indiana Fever. And I think that's inspired basketball. Last year, these 2 teams played each other 4 times and then another 3 in a playoff series that went all 3 games. I like the under 163 here at minus 110 at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay, the under for Billy. I'm glad that you're not against me. That makes me feel better because I am on the Minnesota Lynx +6. I bet it this morning. Tweeted it out. I got -115. It's nice that we actually have cash flow in some of these games, which is nice. There's 75% of the bets on the Chicago Sky. No money line or no money action on that one for this game. 73% of the bets and 65% of the money on the Lynx here and a dog spot. So very interesting, very exciting. You can also look at the line movement because, again, we have all these features for WNBA as well for you guys that don't know. It's lovely here. This line opened up at a 6. It's now, or sorry, excuse me. This opened up at 6.5. Now a 6 and 5.5 starting to show perhaps. So that's kind of nice. That's kind of good. Hopefully we'll see. We have a 5.5 on Bookmaker right now. Down from 6.5. So we'll see who follows that lead. Yes, I am on the old +6 here for Minnesota. I'm excited. I didn't know this was a playoff rematch. I'm excited. So I'm guessing Minnesota lost last year against them?
Yeah, they lost against the Sun, but they did go 3 games. But I will also say the reason why I kind of like the under is Elena Smith wasn't on the team last year. Both these teams are basically identical of last year, but I think the Lynx got a little bit deeper, man. I mean, Diamond Miller isn't a rookie anymore. She's been probably the one that's playing the shittiest out of the lineup for the Lynx, and she's been coming into her second year. So I feel like the Lynx got deeper and the Sun kind of got worse but better, if that makes sense. Like their stud players are really good. It's like Alyssa Thomas is basically like the Nikolai Jokic of the WNBA. It's the only girl that you'll ever see that has triple-double offerings on her props, and she's going way over on her triple-doubles. DeWater Bonner, her significant other girlfriend, she's a hell of a basketball player, Hall of Famer. I mean, she reminds me of like a Carmelo Anthony, just the length of the shooting and the scoring. She can hit a 3, but the jump shot's where she really excels. And then Jones, who was out last year for the Sun in that playoff series, she's back, and she might be definitely top 5 tallest girls in the league. She's a physical force, but I think the Lynx have the front court depth to deal with that. Elena Smith has been playing really fucking good basketball. She had 6 blocks in her last game.
All right, well, beautiful. Let's go into this last game here. Because obviously, Billy, no one's pleased that we're doing this, but we're going to fucking cash these bets. We're going to make this money, and you guys are going to sit on the sidelines feeling like assholes. You guys didn't bet these games here. Washington, Phoenix, Billy, go ahead.
Yeah, we got Washington, Phoenix here. This line actually opened up at 4.5, and then the Mercury ended up beating the Aces, and that line went all the way up to -7 in the worst spots, still a -6 out there at Caesar Sportsbook. And we're going to take the Mercury here, -6 here at Caesar Sportsbook. The grass has been greener on the other side for the Mercury without Griner in the lineup. They started off their season 2-1, straight up at 3-0 ATS betting wise, coming off a big win versus the Aces in their last matchup. They cashed as a outright dog as a +16.5 point. Yes, +16.5 points. They won by double digits.
Yeah, you could have bought crazy
line at +550, +600, and made some fucking cash. The Mercury team is a team that you kind of want to ride the momentum with them. Looking at their schedule, they have back-to-back home games to close out this week before they head out east for their first East Coast road trip of the season, playing the Sun and the Liberty, and then finishing up their road trip in Minnesota next Friday. So I think these next 2 home games for the Mercury are going to be crucial. The injury list has really been the story for the Mystic coming into the season to replace Della Don's production. They've gone 1-3 towards the under this season, with the 1 over sneaking by 1 fucking point. Atkins is out for this one again. She made the trip with the team, but I expect her to be back Saturday. The Mystic just don't have the offensive talent to keep up with the pace of the Mercury here, in my opinion. Shakira Austin, who's their leading scorer, she's on a minutes limit. Carly Samuelson and Van Loo have looked really good so far, replacing her. But Van Loo's more of like a filler player, not a player that you want to give a lot of minutes. But I just don't think it's going to be enough to hold down the Mercury backcourt that's been excelling to start the season. Off-season acquisition, Clea Copper, she's filled in pretty comfortably, coming off of back-to-back 37-point performances, leading the WNBA in scoring right now. And then their other off-season acquisition of Natasha Cloud, she was 3 rebounds, 3 rebounds away in their last game of hitting a triple-double. I'm high on the Mercury. They're my favorite team. Seems like the market's catching up, that they're not going to be that bad without Brittany Griner. Their guard depth right now is just too deep. A lot of these other girls are talented, but they don't have the athleticism to deal with the Connecticut Sun backcourt. And there's a team that I'm high on. And you ride the highs of the highs with the Mercury, and then you fade them when it's low. I mean, Jose, how much money did we make on the fucking Mercury last year, dude?
I made 0. I'm glad you made some. This is my first foray into the WNBA, so I'm glad that you made some. I'm trying to find that money today. See, Billy, if it was the WNBA pods of the day, I would add Phoenix with you. But unfortunately, it's pod 1, so I'm on the links here already, and I'm not adding on. But I like that play. Shout out to Phoenix. And let's bring our friend, old Jimmy the Bag here. By the way, TJ, I am a subscriber to the WNBA Pass, TJ. And nice. I am, of course, yeah, I subscribed last night.
FanDuel, if you spend up to $25 on a WNBA bet between now and June 14th, you get WNBA League Pass for free. So who's paying for that shit, man?
Come on.
Hey, turn the phone sideways.
was I disappointed to find out that when I purchased the WNBA Pass on their website, I could not put it on my YouTube TV? Yes, I was disappointed about that. But it's okay because I am a loyal subscriber. I have the hoodie. I'm in. I'm 2-1 this year. Come on down. Let's ride.
I got nothing.
We got a Friday break.
Because
usually we don't do the day look ahead in advance, but I actually think this is a really good line, and it's probably going to be my biggest WNBA bet of the season here. We have the Indiana Fever traveling into the Pyramid Gym. Not only did they say fuck the Sparks, they kicked the Sparks out of the Crypto.com arena, and they're playing in the Long Beach arena.
God, the quality in that.
They kicked them out of the arena, but this one actually got moved back to Crypto.com arena. They said, shit, Caitlin Clark's back in the city. Fuck it. You guys can play in the Lakers stadium.
We'll give you 3 hours. 3 hours to get the fuck out.
This might be a battle of the 2 worst teams in the league. The LA Sparks are coming off their first win of the season. They win, but did they cover? They pushed on the line of -2, but they did win their first game of the season.
They didn't cover the 2.5, which was our WNBA pod. Come on, Mystics.
And the Indiana Fever are still winless to start off the season, but to their demise, they've had a really hard schedule to start off the season. And this is where the schedule starts evening itself out. Ion Network tomorrow, 10 o'clock p.m. We're betting the Indiana Fever -2. Caitlin Clark and the girls are going to get their first win of the season. Battle of the number 1 versus number 2 draft pick. We're going to see a lot of celebrities sitting courtside. And I think this is a game that the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark to fucking win. It's on national television. They're 0-5. She's getting bad negative press. The LA Sparks are a disposable team, as you could tell. They got kicked out of Crypto.com arena, and out of all the gymnasiums that you could put a WNBA professional basketball team in, they got put in the Long Beach Pyramid Stadium with the shadows on the court to save $30K worth of dollars. If you're trying to save money on a WNBA fucking league roster, I got to fade you. Indiana Fever -2. You can take it on the money line if you're scared. Caitlin Clark gets her first win tomorrow night.
That'll be my WNBA pod for tomorrow as well. Then go ahead and put that down. It was hilarious to see the fucking Sparks play, and there just be fucking shadows on the court. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's going on? But Cam's gonna bring them back to the crypto. She's gonna do it on her fucking back.
Wait until my girl Paige Beckers comes over there from UConn next year. She's legit.
I find myself interested in Paige right away.
Yeah.
Fever, biggest bet of the WNBA season here for our guy Billy Friedrich. Rod Zawacki, Suns -5.5, Liberty -6.5, and Mystic over 163.5, a 3-teamer. We still have hundreds of people, 300 people watching because we have $100 horse race coming up, Jose. They're not going to leave before the horse race. Big horse race. Brizzy, can you review all WNBA action? And then I will review your NBA action. All WNBA action, Brizzy?
Yep, WNBA action for tonight. We have the Minnesota Lynx, Connecticut Sun under 163. Jose is on the Lynx +6. I would get on that line now. That line is moving. And the night
I heard
game,
the show.
Mercury -6. That line is also moving. And tomorrow night, Ion Network, national television. Well, national television if you live in the United States. But Ion Network, Channel 17, we're taking the Indiana Fever. Get their first win of the season. That O must go. And it's going to come against the LA Spocks. Number 1 versus number 2 draft pick of the WNBA are going head-to-head tomorrow night. And I think the Fever get their first W of their year.
And some interesting conversations going on in the chat. When I was in Echo Park Boulevard, I got egged on day 4 there, and my friends thought it was the funniest thing. They laughed and laughed and laughed at me, and I was given a bright orange rape whistle as a gift from Damon Schroeder, and that became my nickname right away. And after a while, they didn't feel comfortable saying that in public, so it was just R Dub. I was R Dub, and I carried that whistle with me, not for gags.
Well, of course, safety first.
Safety first.
Well, I just got a notification that the Baseball World Classic is going to be in Miami and Houston in 2026. So I just got immediately erect. So thank you.
Yeah. And gags aplenty. I remember the jokes flying. I can still remember them. I mean, we're talking this was 2002. I remember hard to blow a whistle with a cock in your mouth. Remember that being one of the
that's not a joke. That's just true.
Yeah, it says that on the box. That is how we would tag that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Brizzy, my man. In NBA, Brizzy's on the T-Wolves to win the series at +1.5. He is on the first quarter and first. Oh no, that was my plan. Brizzy's on the Wolves series at +1.5. I'm first quarter full game is my expectation, and then I'm gonna hammer that T-Wolves +1.5. I feel like that's a real nice future. And then Brizzy gave us Derek White over 15.5 points -125. LJ from H-Town gave us the first half over. Astute Chaos on that first half over as well. And Dutchy gave us Pacers +9 in the over 224.5. Rod Zawacki said his horse just took a dump. There was once a belief that it was important for a horse you love to see that your horse taking a dump before going into the gates, be a little bit lighter. And then I asked the people, I was like, do you sprint right after taking a dump? Do you really think that would help you? And I think the answer is no. I don't think that's
fair. No wipes either.
I think that's it here. So Brizzy, my man, please follow our guy Brizzy on X and on Instagram. Getting _Bills_ on X. Brizzy 18-5 over his last 23 bets. You are the man. Keep winning. We need it badly. Keep winning. Brizzy, any last words for the Capper Sport and Show?
Yeah, time to lock in this weekend. No UFC, no Bellator, no PFL, but we ain't short of fight action. We're going over the pond, over to Cage Warriors, Hardwick in the main event. A couple of guys on there that are probably going to be on the Contender Series by the end of the year. So make sure you guys follow me over on X, getting Bills _. We do fuck around with some basketball shit. We do make most of our money on the fight game, but WNBA has been profitable for us. NBA has been profitable for us. So we got to stay locked in and stay the course here for the rest of the season. And somebody said, am I reading off of something? Do I really know the WNBA? No, I really know the WNBA. My girlfriend's a former D1 basketball player, so that kind of have an edge.
Tell us more about her, Brizzy.
She played basketball.
Physically describe her for us.
She's tall. Really fucking tall. If you probably stood next to her, you'd be like, whoa.
I'm immediately interested.
She's 6'3".
Oh my God.
That's fucking tall.
Respect. Everyone loves an Amazonian. Thank you, Billy.
We love you, Billy.
Oh man. Jeez.
All right. I did
6-2.
I
6-3,
did
that would be awesome.
I did bet the Cubs first 5, and I didn't want to, man. It's way too expensive. I was way late to it, and I still bet it. And minus 128, just stupid. But I did bet it. All right. How many heats do we have? $100 up for our gold members.
4 heats, about 18 people per heat.
So
Matty
should we go
Ice.
top 2 or should we do top 3? Yeah, we'll do top 3 still. Okay?
Top 3, sure.
Okay. All right. Good luck, everybody. Now, how many gold members do we have, Jose?
75. Shout out to the 75. And the reminder, this is for $100.
Hey, also, let's do this for the finals. Let's go 2 minutes because we only have the 12 for the finals. Let's go 2-minute race, but we'll do 1 minute heats. Jose will call the first 30 seconds. Good luck, everybody. And Cody Norton's name, Skunt Blaster. I like that. That's
Cody,
nice.
you changed your name to that on YouTube. That'll be your name for your horse.
Yes. Yes,
Yes, that's how that works. Whatever your YouTube name is, Cody. Unfortunately, I can't remember everyone's horse name, but if you make that your name on YouTube, much easier to remember.
That's a much better line than I got, Nate. I feel like an ass clown. All right, let's get to work here. Jose calls the first 30 seconds. Top 3 move on to the finals. Let's roll.
Yes, top 3. We've got a bunch of people in this race, and we are racing in San Antonio. Matty Ice, Fanatical Jim, Kent Smoke, K-Wolf, Sammy Colmer, Gerald Jones, little Juan Chavez, I believe that is, TJ Parks, Dutch, Joey T, Kenny Can, Philly Eagle Flyer in the lead right now, Fat Wally in the mix here, and the king of burners, perhaps, allegedly, himself, Picks from Dave also in the mix here as well. Shout out to Picks from Dave. Kenny Can in the lead here, Jimmy. Who's going to take it home for us here in Heat 1?
Here comes Browns Hughes making a slight move. The horses bunched together. Matty Ice in the top of your screen trying to get to the finish line. TJ Parks moving in the wrong direction. He has won just last week. Fanatical Jim trying to get involved. Who has late pace? Matty Ice trying to get to the winner's circle, but can he beat Fanatical Jim?
Oh.
And here comes Gerald Jones and Big T and Rico Lopez. Fat Wally flying late and takes the checkered flag. The 3 cappers moving on for $100. Fat Wally, Rico Lopez, and Big T. Matty Ice in 4th.
That hurts.
Bubble on the bubble.
It hurts especially when you're on the bubble for a $100 race.
Yeah. Steve G did call Wally. Wally, one-way ticket to the finals here, to the finals. That 4-2 score in your Padres Reds looking good. Jose, the Cubs game about to start here, and market's just moving so fast towards the Cubs. It's crazy. Minus 115 just moved 10 more cents full game to minus 125.
Yeah, normally I'd be on the Cubs. They were my if bet of the day, so we'll see.
And there is Skunt Blaster right there.
Oh God, that's great. That's great. I need to find Cody. I hope now I need to change your you're actually in this heat as well, Cody.
No, let's get Skunt Blaster out there. That might be just what he needs for victory.
Yeah, that's gotta be up there. Thank you, Skunt Blaster, as always. That's an award-winning name right there, Cody. I hope you not win this for that.
Yeah, odds have to be in his favor.
All right, let's get after it again here. And boy, oh boy, this is a decorated race here. We've got Jimmy, Joey, Nasty Nate, old Skunt Blaster. I'm that heat in the mix here. Nunya in the lead right now. Jimmy the Bag looking great on his horse right now. Blonde hair flowing for his jockey. 35 seconds left here. Who's going to come through? Top set. Nasty Nate just biding his time in the back. Not Bush Allen in there as well. Is this Nasty Nate's time, Jimmy?
There will never be Nasty Nate's time. He is the Chicago Cubs before they won the World Series. But he's creeping up. He is creeping up, but the bag trying to hold down the fort here up front. Moving into the final line, that Heat has the lead. Here comes Joey Harb. Joey Harb, a 3-time champion. Trying to
here comes Nate. Come on,
wants in, but he won't get it. Something will go wrong. Something will go wrong. J-Dub getting to the finish line with Director 97 and the New Corker also moving on to the finals. Nasty Nate is a bet against in this. Skunt Blaster, not his finest performance. The early pace did not help at the end of the race for myself. Kong's Clips right there. Fernando Mendoza, Julian Cesario. But we have J-Dub, Director, and New Corker moving on to the finals here. And our next big race. And Skeen's got the over-outs. So Skeen got the over-outs, but will not get the strikeouts. So cash out. Benjamin Hill's getting that cash. Tori Coker trying to find the right balance for horse. My horse from Drexler Farms. Thank you. Yeah, it's Jose's favorite person.
We haven't talked about this in person. Can you believe what they're doing to my man? Oh my God.
That was wild. Yeah. It's a very
unbelievable.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. You can no longer race horses over 10 years old at Woodbine.
Horrible.
It's crazy. I'm shocked at that. I mean, it's not like we have 11-year-old horses breaking down because we've seen them in action. So absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. All right. Heat 3 of 4. We have 4 heats in today's action. So this is Heat 3 here. We have 6 finalists. Who are the final 6 finalists? Take it away.
It's going to be very interesting indeed. 1 minute on the clock. We're racing in San Antonio here. Preston Dabby, myself, Connor Mack picks, Crystal Craig in the mix, Mikey De Niro in this as well. Big Show, Coin Rodzi, a whole lot of names we know in this race here. 40 seconds left. Who is going to come through with the late base? That's all that matters. Saturated at the top of the screen. Is this Dabby Cab's moment, Jimmy? Who's taking it home today?
TJ moving forwardly throughout, and he's trying to get...
And he's in the race.
TJ in the race, and now moving full frontal, taking over the lead. Johnny Gunn's still there, Saturated. Oh, no, TJ moving in the wrong direction. And Saturated coming up to take this one. 10 seconds left. Can Saturated get to the winner's circle? We're talking about the last few steps. Can Saturated get home? Here comes C-Mac. A big move by C-Mac. We're trying to get to the finish line. TJ flying late. TJ flying late. And Rod Zawacki.
Wow.
And Craig Wilkinson. Wow. That looked like TJ was done for, but switched leads and got pay dirt. Rod Zawacki moving on to the finals alongside TJ and Craig Wilkinson. We have one more heat here.
Wow. Beautiful race there. That was magnificent. If I've ever seen it, that was a beautiful race.
And we go into our final heat here to get to the finals, Jose.
It's going to be very interesting right now. To set the stage for everyone, we've got Fat Wally, Rico, Big T, J-Dub, Director 97, a champion many times over, Nuke Worker, Rodzi, TJ, and Craig Wilkinson in the finals here. Who will join him? We will find out right now. Here we go. Jeff Slaughter in the mix, who won last week to make this a $100 race. Chris Boggin, Jay Peasy, Billy Friedrich, who does not enjoy the WNBA talk, but stuck around for the horses. Res Mob, who's taking this home? Subhuman Gaucho in the lead right now with Chris Boggin. Zoe Faye, one of our newest members in the mix here. Who's taking it home? Jimmy, take us there.
Lil Domo trying to get involved as well, but Chris Boggin has a half-length lead on the Cavalry. Can he get to the finish line and join the group in the finals? Res Mob moving forwardly as well. We are coming down to the final couple furlongs here. Jay Peasy trying to get involved. There's Kelly McInnes signing as well. Donut Silks trying to get that cash. Bo Jackson on the top of the screen. Justin McKelvey trying to get there. Here comes BT. Here comes BT flying home. BT, your winner. Donut Silks, BT, and a cluster in third. Looks like Chris Boggin making it to the finals. So BT, Donut Silks, and Chris Boggin making it to the finals. We do thank all of our gold members and Zoe Faye, one of our latest gold members. We thank you, Zoe, There you go. We have our finalists here. And we'll be traveling for 2 minutes here because there's $100 on the line. And we want a long one. The final group here, let's go over. We have Chris Boggin, Donut Silks, Rod Zawacki, Big T, Director 97, a 2-time winner, J Dub, Craig Wilkinson, Big T, TJ. I said Chris Boggin already.
I switched it up. Rico Lopez is the one you missed.
Okay, Enrico Lopez. Billy. All right, here we go. $100 on the line. Which one of these thoroughbreds will get paid in full?
It's going to be an exciting race, ladies, gentlemen. Some people are only here for the horse races, and God bless you guys that are.
God bless you guys.
Because we love you guys equally. By the way, TJ accepting side bets in the chat right now for those who are interested. And we are racing in San Antonio once again. Here we go here. Minute 50 left. Fat Wally, Rodsy, Donut Silks all battling right now. Chris Boggin, Nuke Worker, biding his time in the back right now because they know this is a 2,500 furlong race. They know that this race is not who can start the fastest. It's who can end first here. Rod Z, Donut Silks, Fat Wally in the mix in that white mare. I don't know. J-Dub also in the mix here. Jimmy, this is going to be an exciting finish here. We've got 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Director 97, do not count him out because he's in the back. Do not count him out. He could be a 3-time winner here as well. Nuke Worker, TJ, all in the back right now, but don't count those boys out because this race is about late pace, Jimmy. Late pace.
You are absolutely right. It is about late pace. Rod Zawacki with a neck lead on Big T, but Big T moving forwardly here and finding himself in the lead. We have 5 horses in a line trying to get to the finish here. TJ involved as well. $100 up for grabs. That's $100 Yankee Franks as well. American dollars.
Yankee Franks?
Yankee Franks up for grabs here. As they say, short on shekels, long on cock. Actually,
True.
I don't know if they say that. I don't know if they say that. TJ here trying to get to the... Oh, TJ moving the wrong way. TJ moving the wrong way. No $100 for you, TJ. Craig Wilkinson, 10 seconds left, trying to get this final furlong. Can Craig Wilkinson get the... No! And TJ coming back. DJ coming back. There's Big T. And Big T gets paid in full.
BT, shout out to BT there.
San Antonio's own Big T.
Came on down to Publipalooza.
He did. He was there. Yes.
Yes.
Big T can. I thought TJ was done and counted out. Rod Zawacki in second place. And for that, Rod, you get zilch. You get squat. You get squat ass.
Not even a little bit.
No. But you can use the saying short on shekels, long on cock. That's available for any of you guys to use. Anytime somebody says, "Can you pay for this?" and you say, "Sorry, Grandma, I'm short on shekels, but long on cock."
I'll use that on Helga next time and see what she says.
Oh, she will love you more.
And she'll look at me and be like, "I know that's not true. I know you're not long on cock." And I'll be like, "You caught me. You caught me."
Oh, and TJ did the yes sir to an old lady the other day. Excellent. TJ. That is the single best piece of advice I can give you, that I'm capable of giving you. Because you mess with their heads in a way that's the best spot, because there's nothing else you can do. You can't be mean. You can't say something like, you can't swear, you can't yell. The only way to get back at an old woman is to say, "You know what, sir? I'm not in the mood for this." That's great. Very, very
and as you predicted, she was shocked.
And no response at all. It's perfect. And whenever I do it, I switch it up. I say, "You know what, mister? Not in the mood for this." Or, "You know what, sir? Not today." They always do this. They touch their facial hair.
You know, you got to drop it on like one of those people that are like trying to give you like forms and stuff as well. Like those are the good times where you can just drop it and just keep moving, walking away, and that's the good shit right there.
You know, it's I do, because there are situations where women are really short with you or mean. But it's money in the bank. It's Jeffrey Moore, that's smart. But yes, it's that's the single best piece of advice I'll ever be able to give you. So I am very happy that TJ took it to the bank. TJ. All right, let's review all action. Congratulations to BT, who is $100 richer. And I should have bet that under as soon as that grand slam hit. I should have. I knew it was going to be a sleepy game. Also, Luis Heel throwing a gem, and just like that market not moving towards the Phillies, Rangers have this 1-0 lead, which is shock and awe. And top of the first, not going well here for Benjamin Brown. We have a big problem here with 2 men on. I shouldn't have bet. It was just too juiced. I mean, what do you think? I think I should have stayed off of it. That was a nice pitch by Ben Brown. Got to get out of this inning here unscathed for Ben Brown. That was a nice pitch. Nice slow. All right, let's review all action here. In NHL, I'm on the Oilers first period in full game. And I'm going to be betting the Rangers, and I have interest in overtime. I don't know if I get to overtime. But I will be betting. I expect to be betting the New York Rangers. So that is NHL. In MLB, Troy Torrance. Troy Torrance is on that Pirates Giants under 8, which he thought was probably a loss, which is in great shape right now. The live number on is 8.5. Oh, because another run just scored. The Giants just scored a run. Damn. Okay, so that live total just moved to 8.5. 1-2 count here in Chicago. This is a big pitch. Strike him out. Attaboy, Ben. Cubs money line for Troy Torrance and Rockies money line. His best bet of the day is the Rockies money line. Sharpie gave a Skeens over 16.5 outs. He cashed that, and he did not cash the over 7.5 Ks. Justin McKelvey, Pirates team total over 4.5. He cashed that live with a beer in his hand. With the grand slam, Jose.
That's money. And then, by the way, it was Joey Bart that hit it as well, a revenge grand slam. So it's all perfect. By the way, apparently I've fucked Tori Koger, so I apologize, Tori. I skipped your name in the members, apparently. So I'll make it up to you at some point, Tori.
You mean that Tori was not in the race?
Yes, I apparently skipped his name when typing it as well. So Tori, I'll make it up to you at some point, Tori. Don't worry.
I find that impossible to believe that he'll make it up to you. Oh, no, why don't we give him 2 horses next race?
Yeah, that's what I was going to end up doing.
Yeah. Why don't you give him 2 horses? But still, he did that on purpose.
Yeah, because I hate the heat, obviously, Tori. Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. I thought it was all fun and games and laughter. Jesus.
I love you, Tori. I love you.
God damn it. Wheeler for the win for TJ. And your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day from Mikey Money. Philadelphia -1.5 and the over.
Stubborn bitch.
Jose's on the over 9.5 in San Diego, Cincinnati. Got to feel pretty good about that. Live total right now at 11.5, and that is juiced to the over. Come on, Ben. Uh-oh. That's foul. Tell me it's foul. It's foul. Yes, it's foul. Oh, probably would have been caught. That could have been. Okay. And then Cubs first 5 for me, and we need Ben Brown to get me out of this. This is this is not comfortable. Ben Brown, can you get me out of this? Come on, it's Arcia at the plate. Come on, Ben. Do it for us, man. Come on, Ben. Come on, buddy. Come on, Ben. Yeah! Strikeout. TJ's on the over 8 in Colorado, Oakland. He's on Flaherty over 17.5 outs. And I'm on that game heavy. That's my big game of the day.
I wasn't surprised that you tripled up on it, but I'm praying for you.
Oh, God. I mean, not only our show's on the line.
Your weekend with your mother is on the line as well.
My bankroll, just everything is slipping. So I've gone heavy on that game. First 3 under 2 at +113. First 5 under 4 at -105. Jays first 5 -105. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Baltimore, Chicago White Sox. That's the last bet I have to make here. I think it's a double up spot for me, but I'm going to pick up Ella first and then kind of sit with it if it's a double up spot. Then in NBA, I have nothing here in Pacers Celtics at this point, but I expect to move on the Boston Celtics. I just need to watch how far this line moves towards the Pacers and make a decision. But I think first quarter full game is in my wheelhouse, and then of course Operation Garcia, which
How'd you do last night?
Last night, well, I screwed up. I didn't get the Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I was so tired. I was so angry and then I was at the IKEA. The Nickeil Alexander-Walker wasn't listed, and I needed to go back, and I didn't. And of course, he's playing terrible. That I would have gone 9-8. Instead, I went 8-8 and lost a little bit of vig, lost a little bit of money. But look, that game went over. So to be in a 9-8 situation is fine. And look, these are the right series for one of these guys to go for 50. All you need is if one guy goes for 50 or there's a blowout. I mean, there's lots of opportunities for us to get paid now, and we better because we have.
I think the finals will go your way as well.
It should be a good spot to be in. And I think I know what I'm going to do next year. It's in the first round. The books have not prepared themselves for for the defensive
playoffs unders.
Yeah, that's why the first round was just crushing, and then it moved
the first round, the actual first round, I guess.
First round, yeah, and then the finals, first round of finals. That's it, or first round in conference finals and finals. But then you don't want to just take 1 year of the statistical information and put too much, into it. But Wolves to win the series. I'll be betting that as soon as I get back. And I think it'll be first quarter full game. No, sorry, not win the series. My bad. Sorry. A Wolves plus 1.5.
Oh, well, I like that too. Well, I said I still think the Mavs losing 5. But I will admit, it dawned on me during the show that I would actually be pretty happy with a Dallas Mavericks Boston Celtics NBA Finals. Dallas is not that far away from me, so that's why I was like, ooh. But obviously, these tickets are going to be ridiculously priced. But there is a chance I could go to one of these games. And the Celtics own Kyrie, and he's a baby back bitch. So I'd be excited for all that.
Wow. And Top Set says, how'd you get into the race, Jose?
Top Set's in the race. Top Set's in these races. Just become a gold member. $9.99 a month. Top Set. I'll try not to forget anyone's names. Tori 2 Horses is going to be his thing on Friday. Tomorrow it's going to be fun. But shout out to all the members as always. $9.99 a month, and join us. It'll be a great time.
Wow, and a great start for the kid on the mound for the Braves. That's got to be a confidence builder. And Subhuman Gaucho, hockey play today. Oilers first period. I love seeing that. And go America, please! You have so much talent. Go out there and beat the Czechs in Czechoslovakia. That's a huge game.
I thought you were saying go America, destroy the Oilers. Because admittedly, I didn't know that Remos was an Oilers guy. I'm jumping on the Oilers bandwagon because I want to see McJesus do something cool, but we'll see.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the gold members, especially. It means a ton to us. God, he's just caught this ump is just already done a horrible job. Started off. Joseph Gomez, Jeff Dahmer, Saturated, Steve G, Subhuman Gaucho, Joseph Alvarado, Old E, Bo Jackson, Kelly McInnes, Aubrey Travis, TJ, Rod Zawacki, I'm That Heat, Rem Most, Jason Work, Tori Coker. Thank you guys. Truly, truly thank you. Justin McKelvey, who's live at the Pirates game, cashing his team total over with a grand slam with a beer in his hand. Oh, yes. And we are on base. Let's go, Cubbies. Joey Harb, Billy Friedrich. Thank you guys. Truly, truly thank you. And Jose, great job. Thank you to our guests. We had Mr. Gogster. We had Sharpie TJ, Billy Brisbane. It was very, very enjoyable rocking with you guys. So thank you. And let's get paid in full. Jose, can you bless our action and lead us into the future, my friend?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Saturated. I'm on Oilers first period and full game. I got first period plus 105, full game plus 113. And I'm going in with quite a bit of confidence, more than I usually have.
Yeah, let's go McDavid. Appreciate you guys. Leonard, good luck tonight with Garcia as well. Nasty Nate, nice to see you. Joey, yeah. TJ. I've got to drive to Southtown 101 and go do a show right now as well. So
nice,
see
man.
you guys.
I was there. I'd order a peanut butter burger.
or a grilled cheese. We all know you love a grilled cheese as well. But we appreciate you guys as always. And leche a los smoke makers.